Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Time Warp podcast. Sorry for our absence. For what? I don't even know how long, but
COVID-19.
yeah, we're back. We're gonna do a vid about the UCL and some other stuff today. I know you guys haven't heard our voices in a while, so let's hear what Anish sounds like after all these years. So go ahead, Anish, speak.
I mean, it's only been 10 days, but yeah. So I mean, I'm just gonna hand it off to Ahmed because apparently, I'm hearing some rumors, wild rumors that there was a cup final today, which
Yeah.
nobody cared to watch. So Ahmed, say a few words
Respect
on the
the
cup
most
final that
important
nobody watched.
domestic respect the most important domestic cup trophy in world football, please. Please. Have some
How was the
respect.
game? How was the game? What was the score line? Who
All
was the
right,
best
so
player?
so
Commu-
to illustrate what was first informed, because you're right, not a lot of people really knew what happened. This was
mhm.
the Copa del Rey for 2020 that was postponed all the way from April, all the way from last year to April of this year because both clubs really wanted to play in front of their fans, but that ended up being an L anyway because we still don't have any fans because of COVID, and now here we are. And well, Sociedad would be the winners, 1-0 from a 60-something minute penalty. It was Orizabaga, the dude with the long name,
Arisa
bro.
Bagel?
Sociedad's captain,
Arisa
bro.
Bagel?
I don't know, bro. He has like 7 syllables in his name, bro. I don't know.
Com-
Orizabagal, something like
Community
that,
Shield
though.
is better, by the way.
Yeah, well,
I'm just joking.
I don't know about that one. But
Continue,
yeah, he
continue.
he scored a 63rd minute penalty to win the match for Sociedad. It was a clear, obvious penalty. But
Mhm.
although Sociedad were the better team, it was their only shot on target that whole game. It was a very dull game overall. Bilbao had 2 shots on target. Sociedad had one, which was the penalty, and it would win them the cup. Silva, I think, was the best player in my opinion. I think he got man of the match. Orizabagal, the captain who scored the penalty, would also be another shout for Bilbao. He had a great game. And honestly, I ran for Sociedad. And Bilbao had a very dead performance, to be honest. The first 20 minutes, 25 minutes, it was a tight match of Sociedad trying to create good passing attempts and good passing lanes with Bilbao trying to be more direct, the more aggressive side. And it worked for the first 15, 25 minutes, but after that, Sociedad simply took control of the match. They were the higher quality team, and when Bilbao went down 1-0, they really couldn't create much from there, and they almost had a man sent off for that penalty. There were some VAR issues with that one. So the referee gave a penalty and gave a red card. Then they had a VAR review for the penalty, and the referee confirmed the penalty. Then they had a VAR review for the red card that took like 10 minutes, and then they rescinded the red card and gave a yellow card, and then they finally took the penalty. So it was a very hectic 10 or so minutes in that Copa del Rey final. But overall, not really too good from either side. First trophy for Real Sociedad in 34 years. Isak had a decent game. Not really too many key performances. Neither goalkeeper really made a single save that tournament, that final. Silva had a good game. Orizabagal had a good game for Sociedad, and that's pretty much the highlights. Tame dead performance from Bilbao, and they'll have to do better definitely against Barcelona if they want to not be the team that lost 2 Copa del Rey finals in the same month. So yeah, those are my brief
Lol.
thoughts about the final this night.
We move, we move.
All right, that okay. So thanks for that update about the Copa del Rey final, dude. I think people deserve to know there was a final. I think we have to respect Sociedad for winning their first trophy in like you said 30 years, something like that. So that was definitely worth a mention. So now we can go on into our main topics, which is the Champions League, and we're gonna be joined by another guest, hopefully soon. So we're gonna delay the Madrid Liverpool talk, but for right now, let's start by talking about Man City. Right? Okay. Man City are under huge pressure to win this competition. Pep is under huge pressure to win it. They're going in. I'm gonna be honest, dude. They're going in as heavy favorites here. Whoever is saying Dortmund have a chance, Dortmund are threatening, is being extremely flattering. I think we can all agree on that.
Yes.
This team is not good. This team, as far as the Haaland thing goes, dude, I have not seen such a carry job since Messi 2019 for Barca. I have not seen such a carry job. Even Juventus, dude, to some extent, they're not as reliant on. They have a Chiesa who can pop up and score like he did against Porto. Okay, back when we had Ronaldo in Madrid, we had Di Maria, we had Bale. We played many high-profile games without Ronaldo and still came out on top because the other players would step up. Bayern without Lewandowski. Yes, Lewandowski he's has like close to 50% of their league goals, but like as far as the other 50 to 55%, like other players pop up sometimes, like they did today. Okay, Goretzka popped up against Leipzig, which was a big game in the Bundesliga. We'll talk about that later. The point is like teams have other players who can step up if their main man isn't there. I've not seen, and the thing is, they're like Haaland. Like I look at Royce, I look at players like Delaney, I look at overrated players like Witzel. In my opinion, I look at their back four, back five sometimes. Akanji, Hummels, Schultz, especially today. Like these guys are so average. There's like a huge disparity in quality there between Haaland and the other players in Dortmund. I think we can agree on that. As
Mm-hmm.
far as the Sevilla Dortmund game went, I know people have been giving Ahmed a lot of shit regarding that prediction or whatever, but let's be real here. Sevilla totally outplayed Dortmund over those two legs. There's no question about it, especially away in the second leg. They totally dominated the game from start to finish. Dortmund won by a goal on aggregate, and 4 out of those 5 goals that they scored were from one player. That shows everything, how crazy that is for him. Actually, Haaland is close to breaking Suarez's total in the Champions League all time. He's
Wow.
Because of how many goals he scored in these past 2 seasons. He's close to Suarez's 24 goals. I think Haaland is like on 20 now, something like
Really?
that. Yeah.
Damn.
Yep.
I never realized how close he was, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
Suarez, I guess.
Yeah, Suarez. Suarez. We all know he's underwhelming in Champions League, but it's amazing that Haaland in 2 years has been able to catch that. Yes,
Yeah,
Dortmund
especially not
played.
at two high-profile clubs. I mean, it was at what, Salzburg and Dortmund those 2 seasons.
Exactly. These aren't even good teams, so one can only imagine. And I believe if Dortmund don't make top four, he's gone this summer. He's not going
Yeah,
to
and
Bayern. So
I don't know
for
if
the
you saw their
Bayern
loss
fans
to
listening,
Frankfurt, so like the top four looks difficult now.
yeah, so for the Bayern fans listening, dude, I don't think you guys are getting Haaland. Okay, so we can chill on that, dude. I think we can rule out Man United. I think we can kind of rule out Chelsea, dude. From what I'm hearing, he might go to Barca, might go to Madrid. I'm hearing Spain. I feel like he would have to adapt more at Barcelona, but I still think they're more likely than most to get him, especially if they sell somehow many of their players. Because I feel like this guy wants to go to a big club. I don't think he wants to play for a small team anymore. I think he wants to win Champions Leagues. He wants the team with ambition.
Bro,
So
Haaland is dangerous at Barca, bro.
yeah, he would be
That's
dangerous. Yeah.
like, bro. I
Laporta
forgot, I can't
coming
remember
in
what season.
clutch. We
I
move.
can't remember what season, if it was 14-15 or 15-16, where Barca would score 3, 4, 5 goals in almost every La Liga game. That's how it's gonna be again if they get Haaland.
They'd have their Suarez replacement. Their prime
Gone
Suarez replacement.
Laporta.
Not the Suarez we've seen the past couple of years, but the 15, 16 Suarez, because
Yes.
Hmm.
Haaland can easily get to that level. He can get to the level of an
Yes.
Eto'o, something like that. As
And if
far as
Messi's
this
still at the
goes,
club, bro, like they're gonna dominate La Liga for sure.
mm, I've not been hearing I feel like way too many people are giving Dortmund as a team credit going into this tie. For me, they were the dark horses. Yes, but Man City are top two in Europe right now. So hard luck. They got this draw. They got drawn up against one of the favorites to win it. Probably the most consistent team, the most balanced team in defense and attack this season in Man City. Probably the most well coached team, because if you're seeing the effect of Pep Guardiola, the way he's
Hmm.
marshaled Man City's defense this season. So I'm not seeing any good footballing reasons as to why Dortmund would win. And here's the thing, people will oftentimes credit Man City have kind of this bottling mentality, which I don't agree with. I think they've been underwhelming, but that's different from bottling. That's different from just having big leads and just blowing them. Like the way PSG did or the way Barca did. City have a hump to go through, but the thing is, you have to be good to beat them. You can't just put out crap and just expect Man City to lose just because of their history of not passing the quarters. People gave me the same argument for PSG last season. And they said, okay, well, Man United beat PSG, so why can't Dortmund? The thing is, teams like Man United, like Lyon, they'll be good in these sorts of cup games, because in these one-off games or two legs, 180 minutes, a lot of times these teams, they can sit back and absorb a lot of pressure and just sucker punch you, which is how they create upsets. Dortmund don't have that. They don't have like the ability to sit back and take on pressure like the way Man United do or the way Lyon did. So tactically, footballing wise, other than the added intangible of Haaland, which is just one player, there's no real footballing reason as to why City should lose this. City have a light years galaxies better coach than Dortmund right now. Nobody cares who is Edin Terzic. Okay, City have the better midfield. They have the better defense. They have the better attack. Dortmund, like we're hearing, Sancho is missing the game. Okay, at least the first leg.
I mean, he hasn't been good anyway, to be honest. He's been
Exactly,
very
but
underwhelming.
as far as tactically, at least against Man City, like people will point to like inverted fullbacks, right? That's why Man United, beat them is because like through especially because of Luke Shaw, going forward, like they were able to exploit Man City like that inverted fullbacks tactic of Pep. That like sometimes okay. First of all, as far as the Man United game goes, and I talked about that tactically as well. United scoring early helped them a lot because that means City had to come out and hold a higher line. But even then, United have the wingers and the fullbacks sometimes to like exploit that space on the flank, which can really hurt City. Dortmund don't have any
And
good wingers, especially
and you have to
without
credit
Shaw.
Bruno Fernandes somewhat too. Dortmund don't have a player like that in the midfield.
No, their midfield is awful. I mean, Witzel is really overrated in my opinion. Like
Yeah.
this guy, he's done some good things in Bundesliga, but he's not a world class player. He's a decent player. Delaney's below average. Okay, that's just me being honest. Okay, I'm
Hmm.
looking at Royce. Royce is washed. It's not the same Royce. This is not the Royce that almost made a comeback against Madrid 2-0 like in 2014. The Royce that gave Bayern's, troubles. This guy's like a shell of a player he used to be after injuries upon injuries and just the natural aging process. He's not really the same player. There's no real reason why Dortmund, should win this. So like I feel like I mean this is rude kind of, but City have like 100% chances going through, in my opinion.
Mm.
Like City have a
It's
hundred
definitely
percent
the most
chances going
one-sided
through.
tie of all the Champions League ties.
Thank you for
That's
saying
for
that.
sure.
Thank you
And
for
I
saying
think I
that.
think Man City had the most straightforward tie last round as well. I think both round of 16, Mönchengladbach and now
Yep.
Borussia Dortmund definitely
Yep.
favor City. And I just
Absolutely.
realized something. City could pull a Madrid and have an all-German run to the final. I just
That's
realized
what
that.
I said. Yeah, that's actually what I said before. I was like, this is a lot like our 2014 run. Schalke,
Yeah.
Dortmund, and Bayern. Yeah.
And if they face a Madrid club in the final, it'll be identical.
Yeah,
But
that would be.
yeah,
Yeah. Close to
yeah,
identical.
yeah.
I mean, so I noticed you said this is the most one-sided tie, and I fully agree with that. Why do you think it's more one-sided than? Let's transition a little bit. Why do you think it's more one-sided than Chelsea Porto? Why do you think it's more
Oh,
one-sided?
bro, because I don't know how many people watch the Porto Juve game, and also who like watches the highlights for
Mm-hmm.
in the Liga NOS. Porto haven't lost in a really long time,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
they pride themselves on defensive solidity. They only conceded one goal in the group stage, was it?
Mm-hmm.
And I know they play it's only 6 games, but that's impressive to only concede one goal to Manchester
Mm-hmm.
City. That goal being so Porto are defensively solid,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't try to dominate teams offensively. They try to sit back and then attack forward at the right times. And Chelsea, you have to give them credit. Defensively, they've been solid, barring this West Brom result. Defensively, they've been solid. So I think they're gonna get them to commit. They're gonna get them to get Chelsea to try to play on the front foot, for Chelsea to try to be the better team. And when you have players like
Mm-hmm.
Oliveira and that Persian dude, I can't remember his name. He's suspended though for the first leg, I think,
Yes.
after that red
Yes.
card against Juve. But
Exactly. Yep.
in the second leg, and then you have just Oliveira, bro. He's quality, to be honest. Like
Mm-hmm.
he can put up a performance. I mean, we saw the free kick against Juve. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. They just seem the better Marsh. Like I'm not gonna go ahead and call Porto favorites, but I say it's close to 50-50 because
Mm-hmm.
I don't rate this Chelsea side enough to really take out, Marega, not to mention Pepe at the back, and their goalkeeper can make quite a few good saves in one game.
Is it fair, Ahmed, to say that like, and this is one of the bold predictions I made. Like, for me, the winner of the Madrid Liverpool is in the final. Is it fair to say that?
No, because again, if it's Porto or Chelsea, both know how to defend overall. And if it's a club like Madrid that's going against, let's say Madrid go through Liverpool, which is a 50, I know it's a 50-50 game, but let's say Madrid go through.
Mm.
Madrid struggle to score goals. And Porto are a team that could just shut a team down and score the 1 or 2 chances they get. So you can't just rule Porto out of beating Madrid. And if it's Chelsea Madrid, I mean, Chelsea have the quality going forward. To be honest, we saw them. I know Atleti. They made quite a few tactical errors in that match, in those 2 matches, but we saw them against Atleti. They managed to attack with pace and catch a defense like Atleti off guard. Now let's say it's Liverpool. Liverpool are a team that drops thinkers at like any random time. We saw them lose to Chelsea in the league anyway, so we know that's possible. Liverpool versus Porto. I don't know. That's the only matchup that I would think it would heavily favor one team over the other. Because I think if it's Liverpool Chelsea, Madrid Chelsea, or Madrid Porto, it's going to be a close game. But Liverpool Porto is probably the only matchup because I don't know how. I know Liverpool have a great record as of late, which Stadium would love that. But Porto, I don't see them really being able to hold off that many quality attackers that Liverpool have. So no, I think that's a stretch to say that.
Yeah, I think
I don't think we're gonna
you.
have a Roma situation where like
No, no,
Roma
no.
got
It's
beat
not gonna
five
be
two.
like that, dude. But here's my reasoning for it, right? You're spot on because like footballing wise and tactically, yeah, it's gonna be extremely close. But here's my reasoning for that, right? Porto, like for them, they're already punching well above their weight class, right? And like it wouldn't be surprising if they're it wouldn't be surprising at all if they're that one team in the semis who nobody expected to reach there. You know, usually there's at least one. Chelsea, it's like they have a lot of like footballing things going for them as well. I know their attack isn't perfectly clinical, but their midfield is solid and their defense is solid because of the tactics of Thomas Tuchel. But when I look at this Chelsea team, experience, they don't have any experience, at this level. They really don't. Like, and I look at this team, dude, like Werner,
Silva somewhat is that's like the only player I can really think of
yeah,
off the
and
top of my
Conte, of
head.
course, in the World Cup final.
Oh
But
yeah,
that's
yeah,
been,
yeah.
yeah, it's
Mhm.
been a long time since that. Like Champions League is a different competition. So, like, I look at this team top to bottom, dude. Like, and it's not that good, honestly, dude. When I look at them, okay, they have an aging Thiago Silva in defense. Okay, let me start from like right wing back. Reece James, oh, he's an okay player. I'll say decent, but like not like
Mhm.
great, not even close to world class. Like Christensen, Zuma. Like Christensen is very poor. Zuma is okay. Like I feel like he's kind of overrated as well. I'll say he's overrated. Like, but by the way, Chelsea fans talk about him, I'll say, like Aspilicueta, he's good. That guy's good. Like he's
He's
kind of
inconsistent, I would say.
exactly.
He
Yeah, he's good but
he's good
inconsistent.
when he's good, but yeah.
Mhm. And
I mean, I
then
rate Kovacic, but
yeah, Kovacic is good. He's a good player. I wouldn't say he's world class yet, but he's a very very good player. Conte is world class. I'll say Rudiger is good. Mondi, the goalkeeper, dude, like I can't trust him in these big moments.
I
And
can't remember what team it was where he just passed it straight up. I think Arsenal. It was Arsenal. He straight
yeah,
up passed it to
Better than Kepa though.
forgot who.
yeah, better than Kepa.
That's not
But
really much.
where's the bar then?
Bro, I'm pretty sure I'm better than Kepa, but we move.
Yeah. And then you look at the left back. I think all their options are poor there. Really, all their options at left wing back or left back are pretty poor. I mean, you got Marcus Alonso, you have Chilwell, who's been average this season, even under Tuchel, and then you have the likes of
Emerson.
Eder, like who's okay, but he's also pretty average, all things considered. And then their attack, man, like Ziyech is
Oof.
quality, but I'll say he's okay. He's
He's
not
too.
he's not
He's
even.
been inconsistent in the Chelsea shirt is the problem.
Yeah,
He he was he was
I'll say he's
on.
okay. I won't say he's even a
Yeah,
good player. I'll say he's okay. Yeah.
I mean
So
when he's good, he's excellent. It's just that
mhm.
so far for Chelsea, he hasn't been working out. He hasn't been that consistent. So you never really
Mhm.
know. And then Werner, oh my goodness, this I saw a meme on Google, or not on Google, on like Twitter, where if you Google Timo Werner miss, and all these recent results pop up, there's like 30 different teams that pop up. So how many misses this man has?
Wow.
You can't trust him to be clinical. It like we used to joke. Madrid fans used to joke about this being the case with Vinicius, but like in like 18-19. But bro, this is something else with Werner. Does he have a Premier League goal yet?
Yeah, he has 5 goals in all comps this season. I think
Really?
Werner and
Well,
Havertz are just crap, dude. Like I'm not giving Havertz props. Sorry, I'm not giving that guy props, dude. He's done absolutely nothing
he's
there.
done
Like
nothing, but I
yeah.
still trust him more than Werner.
Werner, yeah, if he gets a really good opportunity, yes. But you see my point. Like for footballing reasons and tactical reasons, Chelsea will give issues to a Liverpool and a Madrid, 100%. But when you get to a semifinal, like Madrid, like we had a lot of quality, like in 11, 12, and 13 in our side. We should have won like a lot of those games, but when you get to this stage, experience and X factors matter a lot. And I feel like Liverpool, I know Chelsea beat them in the league, but again, that was without Jota and that was with Fabinho playing out of position.
Yeah,
You know,
bad time for Liverpool as well.
at this stage, I feel like Liverpool would just and Madrid would just edge these teams. You know what I mean? We just have better
Hmm.
players. We have more experienced players. We have more X factors in our attack compared to Chelsea, dude. You know what I mean? Like, so
And
for
Juve
me,
were
like,
more experienced than Porto, so I don't. We can say that, but
no, but
honestly,
no, but dude,
I
like,
trust
be real,
Porto
dude,
more
be
in a semi than
real.
Chelsea. I would trust
Yeah, yeah,
Porto
yeah.
more in a
Okay,
semi
yeah.
than Chelsea.
Yeah, against Madrid. Okay, look, Porto Madrid is uncertain, but I still say we edge that ultimately, dude, over 2 legs because that's a really long time for us to score goals, dude. Like, and we'll have like a lot of players back by then.
If Ramos is back, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, he will be, and he will be, and even Hazard. Like, there's a Hazard. Like, I want to like talk a little bit quick about. We'll talk a little bit about Hazard as well and his health situation, but there's some good things happening there as well, dude. So I feel like over 2 legs, we've dealt with a lot of these deep block teams in La Liga, and over 2 legs, I feel like we would just edge it. You know what I mean? Juve
Hmm.
are really, really piss poor right now. Like, for me, Madrid and Liverpool are just levels above them. I know Juve have Ronaldo, but this is kind of a step too far. Like I don't see Chelsea. I don't see Chelsea making that final, man. I'm sorry. Like in 2012, here's the thing about 2012, right? Okay, same club, but look at the spine of that 2012 team and look at the X factors and the experience. Like they weren't good. They were probably worse than this Chelsea team, like
I mean,
overall.
they were making
You
deep
know?
runs though in the Champions League, like, not that long before that time.
Exactly.
Now
Exactly.
they
Yeah.
haven't made the quarterfinals since like what? When was the last time they made the quarterfinals?
I don't even know. Okay, maybe 2014 they made a semi. I think that's the last time.
Yeah, no, I think they made the quarters in like 16 or 15. I'm not sure, but
No, they didn't.
something thereabout.
Okay, look, 15 they got knocked out by PSG in the round of 16. 2016 they got knocked out by PSG in the round of 16. 2017 they weren't in the CL because they finished too far below the previous season in the league. 18 they got knocked out by Barca in the round of 16.
Yeah, so they haven't. Wow.
2019. What happened in
No,
2019?
Europe wasn't that Europa? The year they won the Europa League.
That was the year they won the Europa League with the
Hmm.
Hazard scoring in the final. Yeah. So
Yep.
it's been ages since Chelsea reached that far, and it's been a completely different team, dude. So like, I think this is just a step too far for them, dude. I really
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
think
you're right.
they.
I'm on the UEFA website. You're right. It
Yeah,
was 13, 14 was the last time they made the quarters.
yeah, and at that time they got knocked out in the semi. So like for me, dude, this is just a step too far for them, dude. Like
Hmm.
I just can't see them making a final. And you're right, I actually agree with you, dude. Like for some reason, I would, especially if it's Madrid they get drawn against, dude. Like I feel Porto is actually has a greater chance of being there because they can like
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of edge us in the way they edged Juve and what can potentially
Somehow.
edge Chelsea. Yeah.
The only matchup I think that would be completely straightforward that could come out of those is
Liverpool.
Porto Liverpool,
Yeah. Yeah.
because the thing is Liverpool Porto were giving Juve space. If you give Salah, Mane, and Jota space, they're gonna score eventually.
Yeah.
They're gonna score more than Juve ever did, because remember Porto did that with 10 men at one point. You gotta give them credit. They shut down Ronaldo and Morata with 10 men.
Mm.
So yeah, they can't do that with Liverpool. And even
Mm.
with Madrid to a
No.
degree, you can't do that.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I trust, and especially with Asensio coming off the bench, dude, that's a really dangerous player to bring off the bench. You know what I mean? That's a
Hmm.
really, really dangerous player, and they won't bypass our midfield on
And
transition
Valverde
the
as
way they
well.
did for Juve. Yeah, exactly, exactly. It'll be
Yeah,
more difficult for them to play through our midfield than Juve's.
yeah.
Juve have one of the worst midfields in Europe, actually. If you really see, they have a decent defense and a good attack, but like I feel their midfield is like that's the really weak spot for them. They played completely the wrong type of football, and maybe potentially that's where you can blame Pirlo to an extent. Like he wants to play too expansive when it comes to like you. So Juvenal, what do you think about like the if he's still even around? Like, what do you think about that, dude? Like, do you think Pirlo plays too expansive? For the kind of
Yeah,
players that Juventus have.
yeah. The thing is, like, see, a good manager, and I saw this on Twitter. Like, I don't know if it was a coach or someone said, a good player, a good manager is able to, use his what's it called, minimize his players' weaknesses, and
Mm,
that's it's the opposite of what Pirlo's doing. He's maximizing their weaknesses. Thing is, the quality of players at Juve, they're not able to play like the expansive football that you guys are talking about,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
like
yep.
they're more defensive minded because most of these players were here under Allegri, and like
Mm-hmm,
even the what's it called, the sporting director, like that brought in most of these players. Like they were all under like the defensive mindset, you know. And
Mhm.
like you have Pirlo who's trying to like pass, pass, pass forward, creating. And the thing is, these guys they don't know what they're doing, and you could see that today, in the Torino game. Uh,
Mhm.
like the first what's it called? As soon as the second half started, you saw Kulusevski like idiot try to make what's it called? Like a cross, and then it was easily intercepted. And what's it called? Because everyone's trying to push forward, it left spaces at the back, and then bam, there was the first goal within like 10 seconds of the second half. So yeah, uh, the players just aren't suited to that style of football.
Yeah, but at some point you also have to blame the players because the two goals Porto scored in Porto, in Portugal in the first leg, were both defensive mistakes.
Yeah, but you see, that's because of Pirlo's tactics, because he tries to make them play out from the back, like
Mm.
passing around. And the thing is,
Yeah.
they're just not. That's not their strength.
So you're
Like,
saying Juve's still haunted by the ghost of Allegri, is that what you're saying?
yep, that's the thing.
And
They
you think that
haven't
was the
brought in
wrong move
any
sacking him?
any attacking players. And the thing
That was
is,
deep. Yeah.
the problem is that the wages is the big problem at Juve.
Mm.
That's the problem right now. Because see, here's the thing. Our wage bill, and I just checked this the other day, is 236 million. That is Juve's wage bill. That's the highest in Serie A.
Holy
And the thing is,
crap.
Juve have no money this year, like little to no money. COVID, Champions League, they went out in the round of 16, and right now they're fifth place. Well, actually, no, I think they're fourth, but they're joint with Napoli, and there's a big chance, especially with today's result, that they might not finish in
What
the
was the
the
final
top
result in
four.
the end? Because I saw it at 1-1, but then
It
I stopped
was it
following.
was 2-2. Ronaldo scored at like the 80th minute, but
Of course, Ronaldo.
like yeah, but that's the thing. They should be winning these games because Torino is 17th place, and I don't think they haven't won in like 4 or 5 games. So for them to pick up
I
a draw
mean,
against Juventus just like shows the magnitude of where this team is right now.
do you think selling Ronaldo would be the next option? That's coming summer to finance the
Uh,
move.
it's the most likely option. That's what's gonna happen if they don't finish in top four because, like I said, the wage bill, Juventus
Yeah.
cannot pay
Ronaldo's not
Ronaldo
playing in
30
Europa
million a
League. I think we
season.
know that.
And like, yeah,
I think
that's also another
we all
factor
know that.
too. So like, if Juventus finish outside of the top four, then I definitely think Ronaldo is gonna get sold, and
Well,
then
okay. Let's assume
probably
what
Delict
if
as
Juve
well.
scrap? What if Juve scrap into top four, right? They get fourth, they get third, whatever. Do you think selling Ronaldo to finance a rebuild would still be the right move?
Uh, as much as it pains me to say this, I think Ronaldo leaving is probably the only way that this team can
Mm.
rebuild. And that's not to say that, Ronaldo is the problem, but like right now Juventus is just like the project hasn't worked. Like
Mm-hmm.
they just
Yeah.
need to rebuild. And like or like there's another option, but it's probably not likely either, is that Ronaldo reduces his wages because like he's almost 37, and like let's
Well,
be
and
honest,
see, the thing
he
is,
can't we can't be paying 37-year-old like 30 million a season in the coronavirus situation as well.
I mean, even if he does reduce his wages, which I'm pretty sure they have for like the COVID pay. I don't know if COVID pay is still going on, but I know their wages were reduced. But
I mean
even
it
despite
was, but
that,
like even then, like he's
well,
still getting paid way more than everyone in the league and the team.
yeah. But despite that, do you really think Ronaldo would be playing in Europa League under any circumstance, regardless of pay?
No chance. I mean,
So
I can't see it happening. I don't even
yeah,
see Delict playing in Europa League either
yeah.
because
I don't
like
think De Ligt
all the
has
top
the
clubs want him.
power to move, bro. I don't think he really has. Like Ronaldo has one big move left. If there's even a big move left at his age, there's one
Go to
big
Let's
move
say he
left.
PSG.
does
Go to
go.
PSG. Go to
Where
PSG.
would he go? Where would he?
Go
But
to
I mean,
PSG.
imagine, bro. Imagine an attack of Di Maria behind with Mbappe, Neymar,
Bro,
Ronaldo up
Mbappe's
front.
leaving. Mbappe's leaving.
Maybe not this
It'll be
season,
Neymar and Ronaldo.
but if they get Ronaldo, I think he'll stay one more season.
Mm.
Because Mbappe isn't even sure
But
about
then
leaving.
it's not even
Like,
Mbappe's team anymore,
yeah, but he doesn't need it to be his
and it's
team,
not
does he?
Neymar's team either.
It's not Ronaldo's team either, though. Considering he's
It's
a
Ronaldo, but
38-year-old who
it's
just walked
Ronaldo.
into it. No, it's not. With a club like PSG that has as many big names as it has, I don't think the arrival of Cristiano Ronaldo would really, quote unquote, make that his team.
I
Because, bro,
mean,
okay, I mean, they have a ton of stars in terms of
so
attack. Yeah, they have
If
Neymar.
Messi goes to City, whose team is it?
I think it's Pep Guardiola's team. It's not any, no player sticks out above any of the others in Man City. Man City are the most like team that relies on the team's own
That's kind
play.
of true. But I mean,
No,
I'll still say, you know what, Ahmed, dude, I'll say it would be kind of like Lewandowski at Bayern. You know, like Bayern have a team like what you're saying, but Lewandowski is still that guy. You know what I mean? Like they
yes,
look for.
Yeah.
and you think Ronaldo would be like that at PSG?
Depends on like what happens with the others. What happens with Mbappe and Neymar?
Now
I mean,
there's
like, what,
now
all I'm saying
now
is,
people are saying that. I mean, sorry, but there's like news of Neymar saying that he wants to come back to Barca, but that happens every season. So
yeah,
yeah.
but bro, I'm telling you, Ronaldo striker, Mbappe, Neymar on either side, with Di Maria in behind, with Verratti in midfield. That team
But
can do
but
damage.
would Ronaldo? I mean, would Neymar want to be playing under someone's shadow
exactly.
again?
Thank you.
To
Like
be honest, bro,
that's my
Thank
question.
you.
he doesn't really. To be honest, he doesn't have much bargaining room anymore. What has he done outside of anyone's shadow? Win a couple League One titles, be injured for Copa America. What has he done on his own?
What has
What?
Ronaldo done
Win the
since he
Copa
went to
Libertadores.
Juve?
Well, I
What?
mean,
Well, see
Ronaldo's.
with the Ronaldo
You
thing
can't
at
really
Juve,
compare. You can't really compare Ronaldo to Neymar,
I mean,
can you? In terms of career wise,
oh, of course not.
Ronaldo's
But
the far more successful
just
athlete.
the fact of how they went to different clubs to prove themselves,
Yes,
they
but
didn't
well,
and they didn't
to be
achieve
fair,
either of
Ronaldo's much older and was never injured for his sister's
I
birthday
know,
for Champions League knockout games.
but he quote like
And
there's a
he's
quote of him saying that he wanted to like prove himself or something.
well, how many goals does Ronaldo have in Champions League knockout games the past 3 seasons, and how many does Neymar have?
I know,
I mean, that alone should
but
tell
they
us the
neither of
difference
them have won
in
anything. So
Well,
either of
I
them have
mean
won
that
anything,
is
but
true. Like
but
Neymar
but
really
Ronaldo,
does have to step up in the knockout
yeah,
stages.
but to
oh,
be
of
honest,
course.
Neymar is at a point where he doesn't need a CL. Like he needs something like that. There's no really
Well,
room
he needs a
for
lot of
for
things.
bargaining.
He needs a lot of things.
Family
Wait,
therapy,
does
that's
Neymar
for
have a
sure.
Copa?
No, he has
No,
No,
nothing. He has nothing. No
he has
international
an
trophy.
Olympics and a
Oh my
Confederations
God.
Cup.
no,
Yeah.
no, no.
Confederations Cup.
Yeah,
Please, please,
Messi
Vas.
has an Argentinian Olympics as
Vas,
well, but
please. No, no Olympic bargaining, bro.
I
Please.
know,
Like
yeah.
Federations Cup is
No,
one
but yeah,
thing,
but
but
that's what I mean.
Olympics,
Like
please no.
he doesn't have an international. He doesn't have that international like gold. You know?
Bro,
I'm surprised
Confederations Cup is the Carabao Cup of
yeah.
international football.
He needs a World Cup and a Champions League, and he'll seal his legacy.
So this
Yeah,
Copa this
but
year is pretty big then, because there's like a
Yeah.
few narratives going on. Because
there
there's
is.
the Messi, there's the
No, no, no,
Chile,
bro.
Messi
we
thing.
move.
The format kind of ruins it, bro. I don't know if you guys know. So there's 10 teams participating, right?
Oh yeah, I
And they're
heard you
split into
told me.
two 5-team groups. They're each gonna play like 4 or 5 games
Disgusting.
over a 21-day span just to eliminate 2 teams out of Copa America.
Uh,
So they're gonna spend 21 days on a like 4 or 5 match day group stage just to eliminate 2 teams out of 10.
we move, we move.
That's such a waste of time. That's CONMEBOL organization at its finest, bro.
We move.
How trash they are. So that's a
Respect,
knock on the tournament. No
respect
fault
my
to Neymar, Messi, or
respect,
whoever.
respect my Cannonball. Lax.
No, but back to the topic of if Ronaldo went to PSG.
Uh,
I don't think Neymar is really in a state to say I want my own team anymore. This isn't
Yeah.
2016. This
well,
isn't
maybe he'll say he
2017.
wants to leave, and then he goes to a different team.
But see, at the same time, the allure of one season. Like I heard people were talking about, the fairy tale ending, like the last dance or the last dance, whatever they want to call it, with Real Madrid, Ronaldo going back. But this would be the actual true, like one last go with this PSG team because if they get knocked out to Bayern Munich, let's say they get knocked out, not even slapped on the scoreline, just knocked out comfortably, like comfortable win for
We'll talk
Bayern
about
Munich
that
with.
game next, by the way.
I don't want to go too deep into it, but if that
Yeah.
happens, bro, what's left for this PSG team, especially considering they're struggling in the league now? There isn't really much they can do.
3
Like
points
they have to
behind.
do something different and they have to do it fast. This team is running out, or else soon they're gonna have to like start all over.
3 points behind Leo, man.
I mean, even if they come back and win the league title, in terms of Champions League ambition, bro, this team is reaching like it's reaching a screeching halt soon enough, bro.
Stinky.
Like
Which one,
they
PSG?
can't keep it going. Yeah, PSG.
Because
I don't think they have. I
Mbappe.
think they have. If
Go ahead. Go
if
ahead.
they don't
Sorry.
win the CL this season,
Yeah.
they have to do something big in the transfer window. And if they do, the next season is that's their last go for a while because a
Yeah,
team
like
like
this
PSG can't
generations. You
sustain
mean
that.
this generation of players?
I don't see
Yeah,
them winning it with
They're not.
Pochettino.
Yeah, they're not
That's
winning
the
it.
No, but here's the okay. We'll definitely get to that, dude. But like, and so okay, so we're talking a lot about Neymar. right, with the perspective. I just wanted to like just wrap this topic up like right with this before we move on to the actual game of PSG. Okay, so we're talking a lot about if Neymar leaves, Neymar stays, but what about Mbappe? Because in many ways, like I feel like this is right now kind of Mbappe's team, because it's a
Mm-hmm.
French team. Mbappe is not just a French boy, but a Parisian boy
Hmm.
who grew up in this city.
Yeah.
He's better than Ronaldo right now as a player. There's not even a single iota like of a question like that he is. I mean, his dribbling, his skills, his physicality, the way he can carry the ball, the way he can cut inside, his 1v1 ability. Like, I mean, he's a much better player than Ronaldo is right now. There's no question. Why wouldn't it
Mm-hmm.
be his
I'll allow
team?
it because I
I'll
mean,
allow it.
like Pablo was just saying, when he said if Ronaldo came, it wouldn't quite be Neymar's team, and in his opinion, if Messi went to City, it wouldn't be. I said it would still be Pep's team, but
Mm.
some people would say it would be Messi's team. Mbappe is he's still looked at that as that youngster either way. I don't think PSG can really be that one person's team, especially if
Mm.
Ronaldo shows up because there's too many big names there. You have Di Maria, Ronaldo, uh,
It would be
Neymar,
similar to MSN
Verratti.
Barcelona, dude. It would be similar to MSN Barcelona. Like, I think
Bro,
that's
and
the
honestly,
closest
I'm
thing.
down to see it, bro. Like I'm down to see
Yeah.
what a Ronaldo, Neymar, Mbappe front three with Di Maria and Verratti, the playmate, can do.
Yeah, because really,
Barring
dude,
any
like that
injuries.
MSN team, like it was technically Messi's team, dude, but like everybody shared it. Everybody shared the spotlight.
Yeah,
Like Suarez was the best player, for like in the second season of MSN, 15-16. He was their best player. Like if you look at the overall in the season, at different points it was Messi, at different points it was Neymar, especially early on. But like
exactly. And
yeah,
I think Ronaldo still has the finishing edge to him to really help
mm,
out this front three to
mm,
be a part of this front three.
exactly.
And we saw him struggle at Juve. Why? I mean, he didn't really have anyone to create near him. But for example, when he had Bale and Benzema, I know he was much younger then, and it was Benzema playing the
Mm,
striker role. But Ronaldo can do that.
mm.
Ronaldo has shown his versatility, the same way Benzema has, but differently. They're both versatile players, and you never know. I really want to see that happen. To be honest, like if there's one dream team that I want to see, it's that PSG.
Yeah, and now I think this is a perfect segue onto that topic, dude, because we know now, like like if it's Ronaldo, Mbappe, Neymar, like whoever's team it might be, the problem remains, which is similar to the MSN Barcelona thing, that leaves them extremely light in midfield, and I think that's a really good segue onto like this match thing, right? We're looking at a potential double pivot against Bayern on Wednesday of the Everton and Man United rejects Ganagay and Ander Herrera. I don't know how game is gonna like come out now. I honestly don't know, dude. Because like, see, here's the thing, right? We've been like going so back and forth, like on this, like collectively as football fans, Twitter, international, worldwide, like whatever the case may be, Champions League fans, like initially like people favored Bayern. When both teams were like at full strength and the draw was made. PSG were coming off that unconvincing win, like second leg against Barcelona. We'll get to that in a second. And then like they were looking at both the teams and it's like, okay, Bayern are the favorites. PSG can do something, but it's like 55-45, like 60-40, something like that. Like, you have to favor Bayern. They're the more experienced team. They beat PSG, so they have that psychological edge. So like like they have the more complete team top to bottom. But this injury of Lewandowski that we talked about a little bit already, it's like just some quick stats about that, right? He scored 45% of Bayern's goals in the Bundesliga this season, which is huge. He has several assists. Like, and on top of that, it removes many other factors from Bayern's play, like for example, his off the ball movement, his link up play, his dribbling at times, like his mobility, like which isn't there when it's Choupo-Moting, who's much more like static and stagnant compared to him. His aerial ability. After Ronaldo, like I can't think of any player who's better in the air at this level than Lewandowski. Like just his shooting technique, everything. Like he really is. See, for him, I feel in many ways he's been the unluckiest player in the world. Like the past 2 years. Last season they canceled the Ballon d'Or, which everybody like almost unanimously said he deserved. This season, as he was about to break Gerd Muller's record, he gets hit with this like roughly month-long injury, where like even if he comes back early, he's nigh on missing those 2 games against Paris, dude. So like I think like it's safe to say like for our pre-match, we can just assume he's missing both legs. That changed the whole complexion of the tie. And then I'm seeing this now. Okay, I can't. I'm gonna say this in caps and in caps, and I was really like hoping a Chelsea fan would come in here to back me up on this. I cannot trust Maurizio Pochettino in these kinds of games. I'll say that again. I cannot trust the Chilean Maurizio Pochettino in these kinds of games. I, I can, dude. How many times, dude? Who would have thought that Tottenham team? People were saying they were kind of on a sluggish, patch of form or whatever. They were Champions League finalists. Nobody, nobody, not a damn soul. Maybe the most, not even like Bayern fan TV predicted Tottenham would lose by 7-2 at home against Bayern. Dude. Nobody predicted that, especially a Kovac Bayern team that lost 5-1 to Frankfurt like a couple weeks later. Like the mistakes tactically and just the cluelessness of this man in big games. Like I've seen many big games against Liverpool in the final, playing Kane undeservingly, against Man City away in 2017. Coming at them with a mid block, which they easily bypassed, and the game finished 4-1 because Ederson had a field day and City hit all sorts of balls over the top. Had a field day, and completely destroyed Tottenham in a game we all expected would be much closer. I've seen this man make ridiculous errors at this level in these big games. Let's be honest over here. Tottenham reached that Champions League final on the merit of individual brilliance. Okay, you can't tell me Pochettino knew Mora would just come on the bench or off the bench in the last 10 minutes of the Ajax tie, a tie in which Ajax largely outplayed Tottenham and score a hat trick and carry Tottenham to the finish line. He did not expect that. He didn't create that. That just happened spontaneously because of individual brilliance. Against Man City away, in the first, Cap had some bad tactics. Pochettino did some things right. Pochettino got let off because Aguero missed the penalty. And Tottenham, you would say, just about deserved to win that game. The second leg, Pep completely destroyed him. And it was the individual mistakes of Laporte at the back who you could say was responsible directly in all 3 of the goals that Man City conceded in that game, and the individual brilliance from the Spurs, point of view from Son, who was really good. But otherwise, if you see it tactically, Spurs got ripped open on the flanks. Spurs got dominated in midfield. Spurs had no answer for KDB. I mean, they didn't have a bad team. I get it. Man City have a better team, but Spurs team was good at that time. And I've seen this guy making really elementary, juvenile tactical mistakes, playing too narrow, leaving his fullbacks very exposed. Teams like Bayern, like Man City, and this is what really worries me for this game from a PSG perspective. They love to attack that key space behind the fullbacks because once you get behind the fullbacks, you can then take on a center back 1v1. You can put in a dangerous cross. You can do a lot of damage. In many different ways. And I just see this Tottenham team his Tottenham team, sometimes his PSG team as well, against Barcelona in that second leg. Pablo, how many chances do you remember? Did you count how many chances Dembele missed in that game? Dembooty, how many chances
Too
did he
many.
miss in that game? Around 5, 6, maybe 7 chances, something like that. Barca created a lot of chances, and I want to make a point of this, right? I feel like PSG's performance against Barcelona was kind of flipped compared to their performance against Dortmund last season. Last season against Dortmund, they were very passive in the first leg. They let Dortmund in. They didn't come away with the win. The second leg, they attacked more. They were more intense. They dominated, and they won the game. It was kind of flipped this time. Away to Barcelona, and I'll talk a little bit about this game in the context of the quarterfinal, right? Away to Barca, what happened is that PSG had a fully fit number one. Okay, number two, with the injuries to Di Maria and Neymar, what happened was that Pochettino was forced to play essentially three forwards. I'll say not necessarily 3 strikers, but 3 forwards. Okay, you had Mbappe there, you had Moise Kean, and you had Icardi up front. Okay, these guys hardly ever track back. They won't give you much defensive cover. but they are very dangerous goal scorers. So for Pochettino, dude, the game plan was very clear. Barcelona, and I said this as well in the pre-match. The thing with Barcelona lately that you've seen from them in the Champions League is that the minute they go 2-1 down or 2-0 down in these games, they collectively just flash back, have that PTSD from the Roma game, the Liverpool game, and the minute they concede that second goal, you see a mental collapse of Barcelona. You see them stop pressing, they stop hustling, they stop closing down the spaces, they stop defending. And then it's very easy to get the third, the fourth, the fifth, sometimes the sixth, seventh, eighth in certain cases on this team, because they're mentally very frail. And a lot of that was dependent on Mbappe's performance. Mbappe, who had been criticized for not being clinical, showed up in that one particular game. Yeah, he was clinical, and he scored those two key goals that. Then opened the floodgates for PSG. And it was really good by Pochettino, and I have to give him credit for this, for going aggressive, because if he went conservative in the first leg, that very ultra attacking front three would have been isolated, and Barca would have gone into the game and probably won the game. But he went with an ultra attacking approach. He held a higher line, and he pushed his fullbacks much higher, dude. Which gave the likes of an Mbappe or a Moise Kean service, with their crosses. Florenzi was very attacking. Kurzawa was very attacking. And then that offensive approach for Barcelona, against their midfield, particularly Busquets, who's old, sluggish, not that press resistant anymore. It created many chances for PSG over there. But in the second leg, after quite a bit of time had passed, Koeman had sort of figured out the team more. He started with the back three, with De Jong dropping deep, being harder to pick up. He closed the spaces down, like Mbappe tried, but Barca's defense countered him this time. And Barca, playing a wider formation, were really able to exploit PSG. And the worst thing I see from PSG in the second leg is this, right? It's natural for a team to sit back after going 4-1 up. It's natural. But the thing is, there's a difference from being conservative. I can give you many examples of this. There's a difference between being conservative and using a conservative defensive approach than it is from being passive. You still have to defend with intensity, even if you go with a conservative approach. You cannot be passive at any moment. Forget any moment, but in entire 90-minute stretches, you can't be passive. And PSG were passive throughout the game. And I believe this passive approach from PSG is the reason why Barca were able to grow into the game and dominate the midfield. The thing is, Barca's attack was so bad that they were really bad in the final third and they couldn't score. So here's the thing for me. Pochettino now has to do the two flex. He can't go with the ultra attacking approach that he did in Barca's first leg in this game. He has to be more defensive. And the reason for that is, look at the midfield options. Your midfield options oftentimes dictates the way you have to play. So for example, Liverpool, in the old days, they had a very workman, physical, energetic midfield. So the gegenpressing approach worked for them. For Juventus, we criticized Pirlo just now. Because why? Because he's not playing to the strengths of his team. He's playing an expansive style of football with very limited, technically limited, and just a limited, in general, limited midfield, that can't really do much. So he's using the wrong approach. Pochettino this time, there's a heavy danger of him making that mistake, because I trust Pochettino to sometimes go ultra attacking. That's the way he plays. He uses an aggressive press. He's known for that. I don't trust him for being defensively solid. Tuchel was able to go places last season with PSG without Verratti for pretty much the entire knockout stages, ever since the second leg against, or really the first leg, because they weren't with Verratti in the second leg against Dortmund. So from there to the final, they played without Verratti because Tuchel understood that their midfield doesn't have much creativity, can't hold the ball that much. So he went with a conservative approach against Bayern, a really good tactic, and that kept them in the game for for the majority. They missed some really good chances. They could easily have won if they took those chances. But it was a really close game. They were the only team in the entire Champions League to keep Bayern under 3 goals within 90 minutes, which is
Yeah,
crazy
I think
stat.
that shows how dominant they are to say that they're the only team to keep them under 3 goals, if that's an achievement.
Exactly.
Just a note
Exactly.
to how good Bayern Munich have been. But I think if you look at PSG, I don't think they have it to without Verratti to beat this Bayern Munich, because
Okay.
me and you, Voss, were here last year in August of last year, in the Champions League final.
Mhm.
And you said that I forgot what you said. If it was like 60-40 or something like that. And I was telling you it was like 55-45. I was the more hesitant
Yeah.
to say Bayern Munich were favorites.
Mhm.
And I said that the high line was there. The Bayern Munich high line.
Mhm.
And it was there, but what did PSG do? Not take advantage of it. And then since then,
Yep.
we've seen other teams try, and we've seen other teams fail to do
Mhm.
that. And we've seen Bayern Munich only get better and better defensively
Mhm.
because those chances that PSG had in that final, I don't think they're gonna have them again. And
Really?
yeah,
Mhm.
no doubt. I don't think they can do that again. This Bayern Munich team has improved defensively. Like I
No, no,
remember
they've
we
gotten
used
much
to.
worse. They've gotten much
Y-
worse actually defensively.
no, no,
They
no.
have.
They've
They have.
gotten worse in like these random games, but when it comes
No,
to
no.
when it
Overall,
comes to
overall, no, no, overall, they've gotten worse, bro. They've gotten worse.
I don't
Trust me.
know, bro. PSG has gotten worse too.
No, defensively, yes, dude. But like defensively, Bayern Munich have gotten a lot worse, dude. Like, I mean, dude, look at the way they conceded those goals against Dortmund. Like the thing is, dude, like Bayern, like, and I was about to get into it, dude. Like, Thiago is a miss defensively for Bayern, and I'll tell you why, dude. Because he was a better as a number 6 compared to Kimmich. Kimmich is a very good playmaking number 8. He has better distribution, and I'll say he has better playmaking compared to Thiago. But he can't
Well, I mean,
eat up
see,
that.
here's the thing. They can win the game the way I was saying of possibly not giving PSG those chances. But at the same time, this could be like a 5-2, to be honest.
Five
Maybe
two.
not without Lewandowski. Maybe not without Lewandowski, but
Yeah,
this
yeah,
could be
maybe
like
3-2.
that
Yeah,
high-scoring game type
yeah,
of game. And even because I think
yeah.
this is all down to Hansi Flick, what type of game he wants to play. I think
Exactly. Yeah.
the game Pochettino wants to play isn't going to be the game that's played. It's going to be the game that Hansi Flick wants to play. If
Mhm.
he wants to play defensive, or not defensive necessarily, just slightly more conservative, then yeah,
Mhm.
Bayern Munich could definitely control the game. Not to mention, I think if they decide to do that, since they don't have Lewandowski, they're gonna be more defensive minded if they decide to go defensive. If they decide to go, trust in Gnabry and Leroy Sané to play and start and to get those goals, and they want to be attacking, then sure, it's gonna be two-sided goal scoring
No,
threats.
but
But
Bayern aren't good defensively, dude. Like, and they can't go. They actually can't go defensive. They actually can't. Like, it's not actually in their tactical repertoire to go defensive. That's the
I,
problem. Like, I feel PSG is gonna score. Like, is gonna cause them a lot of issues, dude. Like, they are
I don't
because
know about a lot of issues.
no, a lot they will defend. Like, from a Bayern defensive standpoint, they will cause them a lot of issues, bro. And here's why: it's because you're right. Like, the high line is very difficult to exploit. Actually, it's much more difficult to exploit than most people give credit for. Because the thing is, Bayern's center backs, they're just their whole defense in general, dude. They're very good when the ball goes behind them. Their recovery runs are very good. Their interceptions are very good. On top of that, you have the goalkeeper of Neuer, who's very good at the sweeper keeper role. So he'll come out and clear a lot of those balls that go over the top. But the thing is, like, Bayern, and this comes back to the point of Thiago. Like, Thiago as a 6 was able to eat up a lot of that space between the lines. And he was really good at tactical fouling and counter pressing and things like that. Kimmich isn't, and oftentimes, and you saw this against Dortmund as well in that 4-2, and even against Lazio, the goal that Bayern conceded. I can point to many games against Hertha Berlin away, against, for example, like Hoffenheim. Like, it's not so much the high line as the space between the lines, which is worse. Like, as a Madrid fan, like, you saw our 14-15 season, right? I think that was the first full-fledged season of Madrid that you saw, right? Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, in that season, we didn't have Casemiro, right? And Modric was also injured. So, like, a lot of times we would have a lot of space between our back four and our attack. And, like, teams, especially you saw it in the 3-4 against Schalke, like, teams would, like, thrive in that space between the lines. Like, it's way more dangerous, especially for a team like Bayern. It's way more dangerous to give space between the lines than it is to give space behind. And so, like, the thing is, like, and I can see Bayern when their back four has the ball in front of them, it's very easily to bypass their defense because, like, I can see these guys don't rehearse offensive drills that much in training, dude. Like, even the simplest 1-2s or dribbles or through balls is enough to just get past them, dude. Like, look how, like, I know the game was killed, yes, against Lazio, but look at how easily Lazio scored that goal. Look how easily Dortmund took a 2-0 lead at the Allianz Arena, like, through just basic, 1-2s and combinations plays. Like, for example, the second goal, especially when
Yeah, but
Hazard just did that
uh,
simple 1-2 that
PSG
got
don't
through
have
the
Haaland,
defense.
bro. That's what I
No,
think
but
is
they do
is
have
the
an
reasoning
Mbappe.
of why they won't cause the issues. Mbappe showed up for one knockout game in I can't remember how long, to be honest, for PSG. I don't trust PSG. Even
Mm.
even if they do cause the same problems they did in that final, I don't trust them to actually, make do with those opportunities.
And that's the thing. Yeah,
And
that's the thing. Yep.
the only way I see PSG have a way of winning this tie is if the
Mm.
first leg ends like 1-1, 2-2. They need a scoreline like that, I think. And then the
Mm.
second leg is a whole different conversation. Because
Yeah.
Verratti's supposed to be fit for the second leg. That's a whole different conversation. But for right now, I think the first leg, if it should end for PSG's sake, 1-1, 2-2, something like that,
Hmm.
if they want to go through. And I
And
don't
see,
see
for
Bayern
me, dude,
Munich
like,
losing.
yeah, dude. See, for me, like, it's like you said, like, I don't see like there. Mbappe wasn't actually in red hot form just before the international break. Like he had a 10 out of 10 game against Lyon. But then when the international break hit, he had 0 goals for France. And again today, I'm seeing like a worrying sign. He didn't have
Oh,
a
I
good game
watched the
either.
Lille game. I don't know who watched it, bro, but it was a honestly that game. I know people will say it's the league and it's different, but
Hmm.
PSG played like a dead team. They didn't just lose that game. They played like a dead
Yeah,
team.
they were passive, right? They were passive.
They,
You know.
it wasn't just being
Hmm.
passive. There was no urgency. It wasn't like
Hmm.
this game could potentially decide the title. It
Hmm.
was as if this is just some random, League Cup game or something. You know,
That's what
and
worries me a lot.
that
Yeah.
mentality, you can't switch that mentality on and off when it comes to Champions League.
Hmm.
You can say it's different all you want, but that's not a switch you can just flick on and off
Hmm.
for PSG. They're a team that just doesn't they don't have the spirit, they don't have the mentality. I don't know what you want to call it, but whatever it is, they don't have it. They just simply don't have it, and that's against Lille, which credit to them. Lille have been incredible defensively
Hmm.
in Ligue 1. I think they've only conceded like 19 goals, is what the commentator said, something like that. But then again, it's Ligue 1, right? Bayern Munich are a Champions League contender, winner
Hmm.
caliber side. Lille are nothing nowhere near that, and they controlled this PSG team. Navas
Hmm.
actually had to make a couple saves to keep it at 1-0. And the way
Hmm.
they exploited PSG is they let them have the ball, and they were incredibly organized. Obviously,
Hmm.
Bayern Munich's not going to do that. They're not going to sit back, obviously, against PSG.
Hmm.
But I think that right there showed the flaws in PSG's game that they couldn't take their chances against Lille.
Hmm.
They
Yep.
couldn't take their chances against a much weaker defense, with a
Hmm.
much weaker goalkeeper, with a much weaker attack.
Hmm.
That I think shows the entire story. Not to mention
Yeah.
the fact Di Maria was playing, Mbappe was playing, Neymar was
Neymar
playing.
was playing.
There's
Yeah.
no excuse. There's simply no excuse. And this PSG team, to me, I think in some ways you can say it's sad to see a team that's tried so hard to get so close just simply fail again. The same team they did in the final. But I don't see how they can get through. The only way I can, which would need a Pochettino masterclass, would be if they can
Yeah.
salvage a 2-2 draw away and then see what happens in Paris.
And which I don't think it's going to be, dude, because I don't think Pochettino like is good at all. Even like he's awful. Like he's okay if he does this, dude. It's a first. It's a first, right? And I'm saying like, and here's why it's a first. Like I've never seen him come with a defensive masterclass in a marquee game, ever. I've never seen him come with a defensive masterclass in a marquee game.
I
His
mean,
first
I,
teams
I wouldn't
always
call
conceded
Tottenham
lots of
versus
goals.
City a masterclass, the first leg, the 1-0
Yep.
win,
Mhm.
but it was a good defensive performance, to be
Yeah,
fair.
and to be honest, dude, I think that's because Pep was too passive, or not too. Pep was too conservative in that game.
I mean,
Like
credit where credit's due, though. He still had to
yeah,
set up
like
his
it was
team
it
that
was
way. But
good. No, it was good. It was good, but like again, like if that penalty goes in, we're talking about a completely different game. And like
I mean,
City,
and
they were on the front foot in the opening 10 minutes, dude. Like when you miss a pen, like that psychologically plays a
mhm.
big role. Like you know what I mean. So, but yeah, go on, go on.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the only way I can see PSG escaping. And I know KJ might beg to differ, but I think a draw would actually be a phenomenal result for PSG to take things back to Paris. And I think that's in order to keep the tie alive. That's what's needed from a neutral perspective.
Yeah, for me, Pochettino doesn't have any options, dude. He has to like come with that kind of a defensive performance, dude. He can't play attacking. He has
Hmm
to like shore up his defense because he doesn't have the midfield to play an attacking game now. Paredes is out. Verratti is out. For likely for both legs. So like you have to go defensive. You can't like be proactive with Idrissa and this guy. Like Herrera in your midfield, dude. Like perhaps Danilo will recover from his injury in time, but even he has a calf injury. So
hmm
I honestly I don't know. Like he has to come with a defensive approach, and they have to hit Bayern on the counter. For
Yeah, and
Bayern, yeah,
the
yeah,
thing with Bayern is their goals and playmaking can come from so many places. Even if you take Lewandowski out, because he's injured for both legs, Muller, Sane, Koeman, Kimmich, Ginab. By the way, I'm looking at the lineup right now that beat Leipzig and kept a clean sheet against Leipzig. It was Koeman, Muller, and Sane with
no,
Choupo-Moting in
but
front.
like, dude, Leipzig are all, actually cause them issues, dude. But Leipzig are just awful, like attacking
I
wise.
know, I know, I know, I know. I'm not saying I'm not crediting. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that was a good defensive performance. I'm talking about the attack that won that game.
Mm.
Sure, it was 1-0. They didn't even start Gnabry,
Yeah, but they
and they
have to
started
in this game, in my opinion.
Choupo-Moting.
But yeah, go
Yeah, they do. And in fact, I think they rested them for this game. That's probably the
ahead.
reason he didn't start. But
Mm.
just for the fact that they have so many places that can pass the ball through. Like if they try to shut down Muller, they're gonna leave open space for Sane, Coman, Gnabry to go through.
Yeah, yep.
And if they and even Kimmich can do damage from deep, as he did in the Champions League final when he played that ball from outside the box to Coman to win
Mm.
that. So there's just so many. Like wherever you try to close a gap with this Bayern Munich attack, there's like three more questions to be asked about your defense. And I think that's
Mm.
how Bayern Munich have truly been decimating all these teams. And
Yep.
maybe a team like Real Madrid, their offense isn't that good, but defensively Real Madrid could hold up to this task. But
In a
I don't know
final,
how
yeah.
PSG can. I don't know how PSG will be able to, and I don't know how Pochettino will be able to.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, for me, it's the latter, dude. Because if this was Tuchel, dude, I would trust him to like put some shore ups the defense and put some defensive, tactics and like at least limit the damages. I can't trust Pochettino to do that. And
If,
the
if this
main
was if this was Tuchel, we get a classic 2-2.
Yeah,
You already know.
yeah, likely, yeah. That would be likely, yeah, with Tuchel, dude. But the thing is with Pochettino, dude, like, and the thing with Bayern is, like, yes, Lewandowski's injured, dude, but the main threat for me tactically in this game wasn't him. It was the wingers of Bayern and PSG's fullbacks. That's where Bayern will want to, like, do the damage. And like you said, if they try to shut down Muller and Choupo-Moting, they still have those fullbacks to worry about. For me, the thing is Flick has to do this in this game. Don't go with a deeper line. Play the high line because the thing is like if you hold a deeper line, that gives the onus to Neymar and to Di Maria and many of PSG's AMs to create. But like if you go with the high line and the high press, see PSG. The thing is like I've seen them in Champions League. Do they struggle against teams that press very high and like really are relentless and like don't give them any time on the ball?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Barca second leg. That's a prime example when they isolated that front three, and what did they do? Nothing.
Yeah, and the reason for that is because I feel like French teams they don't press that aggressively compared to Bundesliga or certain La Liga team, or even Liverpool
hmm
or City in the Prem. They don't experience that kind of like high pressing football in France. So they're kind of like shaken when they play teams like Bayern, like Dortmund away last season. So for me, like tactically, the best thing Flick can do. Here's what Flick should do. Flick should play Choupo-Moting as a strike guard, Gnabry on the left, and Coleman on the right. Switch Gnabry and Coleman in this game from the final because I'll tell you why. Right on the left, like on Bayern's left, you're going to be dealing with Florenzi, who's not great defensively. So Gnabry, who's the onus is on him to score goals now. To be honest, bro, because last season he was their most prolific goal scorer outside of Lewandowski. And you want your inverted winger like that to be able to cut in on his strong foot and take shots. On the right, you have Coman up against Diallo because Kurzawa will be missing the game. Diallo is solid defensively, so you want a 1v1 machine like Coman in there so he can dribble him and put in crosses through his strong foot, which is his right foot for Muller and Choupo-Moting and Goretzka when they make runs into the box. So that's what I would do for Flick. But the main thing for me is of course, Gnabry starting him on the left, but also the main thing for me is don't go with the deep line, go with the high line because
hmm And don't
he
forget
might.
Sane off the
Yeah.
bench when you're talking about the attack for options.
Sane off the bench is better actually. Yep, Sane off the
Yeah,
bench
off
is
the
better
bench.
than
Yeah,
him starting. Yeah,
yeah, that's what
exactly.
I'm saying. Off the bench, with this pace.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much everyone in this attacking lineup is pacey. That's the other thing that's gonna trouble. Besides Muller, I can think he's not that pacey, but everyone else is pretty much. They have that pace to tire teams out, and then they can just bring on Sane, who's just even faster.
Yeah, exactly, dude. He's kind of like an Asensio for them, like in a way that
Yeah.
Zidane used Asensio in those games, left foot, not afraid to take shots direct. So like he's a really good weapon off the bench. For me, you start Serge Gnabry because he's the most proven out of the three in these sorts of two-legged knockout ties. So yeah, that's pretty much it, dude. Like if Bayern go with the high line and they press PSG aggressively, I don't think Neymar's gonna have a world class game because he's been in and out with injuries and everything. I don't expect him to do much. Di Maria isn't as fast as he used to be. Really, like the only threat you have with the high line is Mbappe's paced up against Pavard. But other than that, if they go with the high line, I really see them limiting PSG's chances, like you said.
Yeah, because I
I
think
really
you're
see them
right.
limiting PSG's chances. Like, yeah. Because other than
Because
Mbappe, I don't see anybody getting in behind and hurting them. Yeah, but go ahead.
yeah, but if they play deep, for example, they have dribblers. They have Neymar, they have Di Maria, they have Mbappe. Somewhat like they play deep, they're asking for trouble. Is the issue.
Yep.
So I think you're right. Like playing on the front foot is always the better option when you're Bayern Munich. And I know they're kind of in the stigma of not wanting to concede away goals, but I think the front foot approach, the higher line is the better option, no doubt.
Yes, bro.
So we get into the match everyone's thinking about, or
Which match is that?
which-
Barcelona Valladolid.
No, bro. No, of course not. Come on, Pablito, bro. We have journalistic standards here, with our games. Obviously, it's Elche Real Betis tomorrow. Come
We
on now.
move. We move.
Title deciding matchup. Like, come on now.
Yeah, is Pablo there actually?
Yes, I am here.
Yo, you're okay. Okay, you're back. Okay, good. Yeah, but like, any final thoughts then, Ahmed, on the Bayern PSG?
Everything's really been said. I'm hoping for a great game.
Yeah, I'm hoping for. I feel like this will be the most high-scoring game between the two teams. What do you think?
I mean, I don't see a lot of goals in Chelsea Porto. I don't see a lot of goals in. I mean, unless Man City completely open up Dortmund.
Yeah, but I feel
Then
like they'll
that's a
play to
different
contain,
conversation.
dude. From what I saw against Gladbach, they'll try and contain and just control.
Yeah,
the game.
but bro, Dortmund, they let Sevilla all over them. And that's Sevilla. They let them all over this team. So if they do anything like that with City, bro, they're at least 4 goals a game.
Mm-hmm. And City
So
should do
I don't
that,
know.
actually, in my opinion, dude. That's the approach City
should.
should go for because they'll just kill the tie in the first leg. They have the
should,
first
yeah.
leg at home, so they should do that.
Yeah.
If they just play to attack and just destroy Dortmund, dude, because Dortmund is frail psychologically as well. So like,
Especially
I feel like
defensively
if City
too.
go 2-0 up, they'll really destroy them. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
yeah,
don't know,
that's
man.
not really much of
I
a.
think it's gonna be a high-scoring game, bro.
Yeah, bro. 6-1 is high scoring.
No. Like I think it's gonna be like a close game, like kind of like the Monaco City game,
I
like
I think so.
2016-17.
No, not that close. I think it'll be like 4-1, 5-2, 4-3
I don't know,
at
man. I
best.
still don't trust City in the Champions League. I still
And you trust
think that
Dortmund?
Dortmund is gonna somehow win. Like I know, obviously, they're not favorites, but like I don't know. I think Haaland is gonna do something special on Tuesday.
This is why I only smoke weed on the weekends. No. On a serious note, though, it's Haaland and Inshallah for Dortmund.
Exactly. That's pretty much
it
it,
worked.
dude. Everybody else is
They
pretty crap.
got extremely lucky against. I know I got Clan for the agenda, but they got extremely lucky against Sevilla.
No, they did. Yeah, you were right. Like Sevilla did. Like as far as the run of play, Sevilla totally ran them ragged. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Sevilla.
Totally.
Sevilla
Bro,
like
the
a
thing is,
C-Tech
it's
city.
Pep, man. It's Pep because bro, Pep always does this stuff. Like he always changes his approach. Like he did
You
this
say
against
it's Pep,
Lyon last
but can you
season.
tell me who the Dortmund coach is?
Yeah, tell us what his name is, and then we can.
Dude,
Exactly.
I'm giving you 5 seconds because he was gonna
Yeah,
Google.
don't go on Google.
Exactly.
I'm gonna let me Google search.
Exactly.
5.
Let's see exactly. He's Google searching it, bro. See exactly.
It's
That alone tells the difference.
it's,
It's Eden Dersic, bro. Come on, let's move on now.
it's Valverde.
It's Muntaha.
It's Valverde.
Yeah, exactly. This is a broken team that just lost to their top 4 contender 2-1.
Mhm.
When now they're 7 points behind top 4 after losing to the 4th place team. This isn't that good of a team.
Mhm.
That was potentially their most important game of the season, and they lost it
Blew
at
it.
home to Frankfurt. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I can't trust
Ooh,
them.
wait, can I ask you guys a
No.
question?
Yeah, what's up? What's up?
Okay, so you know how Dortmund are getting the Mönchengladbach manager, right?
I
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so let's
think
say
so.
they like hypothetically that's the manager for this game. What happens?
They lose 3-1 instead of 5-1.
Yeah, they'd still lose, to be honest. Marco
Wait,
Rose just like, I
you're
don't
saying Lucien
think his
Favre,
tact.
right? The other manager.
No,
Marco Rose, right?
the
Marco
manager
Rose, the
for
Gladbach
the
coach.
Yeah.
Gladbach manager.
Mm.
Let's say he was the one managing.
I mean, to be honest, he's
Dortmund for this
overrated.
game.
Yeah,
Like-
what has he done
like-
that people rate
like,
him?
I don't
dude?
know.
I
Like,
don't know.
It's just of
It
how
pisses
he,
me off so much, bro, because Borussia Mönchengladbach, if you look at the games of the group stage, what do? Real Madrid, they bottled the 2-0 lead at home. Then when they played away, they played their worst game of the season. Inter Milan twice. Once they bottled the lead to go to a draw, and once they bottled the lead to lose.
Oh yeah, they lost to
Oh.
Inter as well.
Yeah,
the,
then they got
the last
then,
place
then,
team.
then they got slapped by City. All they did was castrate Shakhtar Donetsk over 2 games. That's all
Wait,
they
did
did.
they
Yeah.
even score against City? Did they score?
no,
No.
they didn't.
still better than the
Yeah,
Dortmund
so-
manager though.
Hardly, bro. Hardly. I mean,
I mean, it's
maybe.
pretty close.
Yeah. No, bro. I'm
Bro,
being serious.
what's
This-
the
this-
ambition at Dortmund? And like,
Dortmund need to.
I
To be
just, I
second
just
best.
don't get what.
Dortmund
You
need
know,
to,
to
hire,
make as much money as possible from sales.
Dortmund need
Nah,
to.
to be
Dortmund
it's
need
to be
to hire
second best.
Valverde. Dortmund need to hire
They
Valverde.
want to keep that brand big in Germany, but at the same time they can't get it too big. Like that's where they're stuck. They're stuck in that like
Dortmund hire Valverde.
they're stuck in that purgatory.
and they'll make the UCL semis.
Like for example, bro, if Manchester United weren't like a big club historically, we would look at them and we would laugh and we'd say that they're the Dortmund of England. If you remove Manchester United's history, what are they? If you look at the past couple seasons, a team trying to get out of a local rival's shadow. Let's be honest here. I know this might piss some people off, but let's be honest. That's what Dortmund is. Just Dortmund doesn't have that history or that brand.
Two UCLs,
So,
two UCLs. Respect,
they're an
respect.
They're an ambitionless club.
Yeah, they don't have their ambitions is to like get young players, build them up, and then sell them. Basically.
Yeah, like I know people like to hate on like they people love to attack some of these mid-tier La Liga teams, but to be fair, they have ambition.
yeah.
At least they have ambition. Real Valladolid has more ambition than Dortmund. This Dortmund is a shame of a club.
But like Athletic Bilbao, for example, like it's way harder to buy a player from Athletic Bilbao if you're Barca or Madrid than it is for Bayern to buy players like it from Dortmund.
Yeah, exactly. And then teams like Sevilla, I know Valencia had that recent crisis. So Valencia, they're a special case now. They lost like 9 of their 11 starters because of this special scenario. But everyone else, they don't really let go of players, and they develop more players as well. If you look at them compared to Dortmund, so I don't know. I don't see Dortmund doing much in like upcoming years. I don't see them doing much either.
Dude, Schalke, the Red Bull clubs, and Dortmund, dude, and Ajax, I'll say from Netherlands, but like I've never seen clubs let go of players like these 4 teams. I've not seen clubs let go of players like these 4 teams.
I mean, Bilbao sells they sell a couple, but the thing is, they make bank. Like they sold not what's his name? Kepa Arrizabalaga, whatever his name is.
And Laporte as well. Laporte.
But see, the thing is, yeah, Laporte as well. But they always have they have a basque of that's ironic, a bastion, but they have a plethora of talented goalkeepers like Unai Simon. Bro, Unai Simon's backup's backup. I remember one time played against Real Madrid and gave like a 10 out of 10 performance. Like Bilbao they had backups before they sold Kepa. Kepa was just like the high profile name. So they're a lot more equipped. And even Benfica, you forgot to mention Benfica as another club that lets go of players.
Yeah.
They let go of a shit ton of players.
They went out and spent a ton, but like a lot of those players they spent on are flops this season.
Yeah, but they let go of way too many talents. Like Jan Oblak, Joao Felix. Those are just like the 2 high profile ones now. But Ederson, right? Wasn't he at Benfica? Yeah.
Yes.
I think so.
I think he was.
But definitely Oblak, Joao Felix. Like they're constantly going to go with players. But yeah, so I think I think we all have the elephant in the room left when it comes to Champions League. We're gonna get to that.
Yeah, let's do it, dude.
What's the
Like,
elephant in
and
the
that is.
room? Barca Valladolid?
Bro, I told you it was Real Betis Elche, bro. The title deciding
Oh
matchup.
no, dude,
I
you're all
can't
wrong.
wait
It's
to watch
Everton
it.
versus Southampton. That's
Ah,
the
yes, yes, we moved,
Uh,
we moved. What a
let's see
match.
who's gonna.
No, dude, it's Bolton Wanderers versus Derby, the most successful teams in the Champions League.
Guys,
Dude.
guys.
The championship, I
Ibar,
should say.
Ibar Levante. Sleeping
Oh
on this
my
fixture.
god. Ibar
Alright.
Levante. Yeah, okay.
All right, let's do it, dude. Then let's talk about like Bar Levante then. So we're hearing, dude. Like, okay, so here's my take from like being a Madrid fan, dude. Like, okay, the minute Ramos got that injury, dude, like I don't know what to say, man. I honestly don't know what to say, dude. Like this, we have more injuries this season than goals scored. Like let's just
Ouch.
let that sink in. Like in the league, at least not in all comps, but in the league, like it's honestly insane, dude. And it's really, really unfortunate, dude, that this had to happen. Like I mean, oh man, I don't know what to say, bro. Like I mean, like my hopes went up from like is went down a lot, you know, ahead of this fixture from that.
But see,
I
my
thought the
question is, how does this have to do with Ibar versus
Oh
Levante?
my god.
yeah, we're talking about that game, right? Are you saying
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I mean,
he's just talking about the injury, that's all.
yeah, this is the
Yeah.
13 times champions Ibar versus like the 6 times champions Granada. Like I mean, we're talking about this game.
The 6-time relegation champions. Yeah, okay, continue. Continue.
But dude, when I saw Granada today, dude, against Arsenal, man, like I mean, what a like that was a really really solid performance, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, even the center back partnership of Kabak Williams, particularly Williams, impressed me. But like the rest of the team was just stellar, honestly, dude. The fullbacks looked like they're back on form. Trent had an amazing game,
Yeah,
both in
Mohamed
defense and
Ramos really
attack.
balled.
Yeah, I mean, okay, Fabinho looks really good in his natural position. Thiago looks he was average, I'll say, but he did his job. But Milner had a good game. Milner had a solid game. So for me, the two players, I say Mane and Firmino were average. You know, really, like I think Firmino did his job, but he was pretty average. Like other than that, the two players from Liverpool that really like worry me a lot though. Salah, obviously, because it's Salah. It's their talisman, their main goal scorer, and Ramos isn't there. But the other player that worries me a lot is Jota because of his off the ball movement and headers. I think in the past 2 weeks, this is the fourth header he scored for club and country. It's honestly
Hmm.
insane, dude. Like this guy isn't even a tall guy. It's just his off the ball movement is just so good, and his heading technique is so good. Like he only needs like one chance, or at the most like maybe two chances to like bury a header. You know, he just needs one good delivery to bury a header. Like, and you know Trent could give that, dude. So like, what approach? And did you watch the? Did you see the lineups and the way we played everything against Ibar today, Ahmed?
Yes, but it was really hard to get a read on the team because of how many players were rested. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Zidane always does this, bro. Whenever we go into a big game, you really never know what he's gonna do. Like
Mm-hmm.
he could go three at the back, he could go four at the back, he could go Marcelo wing back, he
Mm-hmm.
could have three center backs with like two wing backs that drop back. I'm not sure what he's gonna do, and there's so many different options at this point. And to be honest, the back three worked against Ibar,
Mm-hmm.
but that was Ibar.
Exactly.
Also, I doubt he's gonna go with Militao Nacho against Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be Nacho Varane because Nacho played well, and Nacho can direct the defense. He's kind of like a fill-in Ramos. He's a
Yeah,
lot
beats like
closer to
Ramos.
Ramos than Militao.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's gonna be Nacho that's gonna play there. But the question is, do you play a back four or a back three? And if
Mm-hmm.
Carvajal was fit, I would have definitely said back four because we had this discussion earlier. But
Mm-hmm.
considering he's not fit, I don't know. It's really out there because to be honest, if anyone's gonna shut down Trent, do you really trust Vasquez? Like he could, but
No, not Vasquez. You mean Marcelo?
Marcelo. I mean, it depends if Marcelo plays or if we just have Mendy.
No, like, but like Trent plays on the other flank to Vasquez though, so that's why I said.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I'm talking
Yeah.
about I got confused. But Mendy, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's just so many options. He could go with a classic, the major classic 4-3-3 with Casemiro, Modric, Cruz,
No,
Benzema,
but see, for me,
Asensio.
dude, like, we have to pin, like, see, Arsenal went with a completely wrong approach today, which is like, okay, so there were two things that completely changed the game for me, right? Okay, first of all, right off the bat, like, and this didn't change the game, but it was a bad decision putting Aubameyang on the flank because he's not a flanker, he's not a winger, especially a left winger. He's
They always make the
better,
same
like,
mistake.
yeah. And then on top of that, like, okay, here's where the game changed. Tierney got injured and got taken off, and then Trent's influence on the game grew exponentially from there. After Tierney came off. The other mistake was taking off Ceballos and bringing on El Neni, because that's a massive downgrade right there. So like those two before that it was 0-0. But after those two things happened, and of course Jota coming on, then like the game pretty much was over. Like the game was over after that. So specific things happened in this game that like directed it in a particular way. So yeah, you're right. Like we have to go with the right lineup. So I feel like Vinicius has to be there. See, the thing is, Vinicius, dude, isn't reliable at all in the final third. But at least the thing is with Vinicius, dude, he works really hard. He's fast, and he's a very good dribbler, dude. So like you can use Vinicius to pin Trent back. In a way, so like Trent will always be wary of the pace of Vinicius, like in behind, because he's bad, but at the same time, you can't just let him have all that space. You know what I mean? So in a
Enforcing
way,
fouls.
yeah, so we can in a way force like Trent back, stop him from like coming close to the byline and putting in those dangerous crosses. I worry for the cross. See, from a Madrid perspective, dude, I worry about two things: Varane and Casemiro building out of the back, and then the crosses. Like the crosses, especially to Jota. Like, okay, Mane doesn't worry me that much, and Salah doesn't worry me that much in the air. So I think we can defend those two in the air, but like Jota in the air is gonna be difficult, dude. See, and the thing is, like, I hope that like Klopp goes on to use him as a super sub, instead of a starter, because the thing is, like, I think like Zidane will definitely study, like the game. He'll definitely have watched the Arsenal game today, and he'll see like Jota was really dangerous off the bench, and he'll study, like what Arsenal did wrong, like Holding was awful in the opening goal, because like he completely lost, like he completely like lost the header, which he should have won. Also, like the guy, the right-sided defender for Arsenal also lost to Jota, dude. So like we have to do a better job marking him. I would put even Casemiro on him. But like here's the thing, I prefer Jota coming on as a super sub because I feel like we can deal with him in the air for 20 minutes rather than 90 minutes. Like so him starting like scares me a lot more. What do you
Well,
think?
I didn't watch the Arsenal game
Hmm.
to be fair, but I heard Trent had a good defensive performance as well. Is that true?
Hmm.
Did you
He
say that?
did. He did. Like, but like I feel like as always with that guy, his attacking performance was better, which is why we need Vinicius over there to like keep him occupied for most of the game. And the good thing about Vinicius that I really like is he tracks back as well. So wherever Trent goes, Vinicius has to give that work rate to follow him. And the good thing today with the Ibar is that Vinicius didn't start, so he's also fresh. Like
And he has to be more disciplined as well, because
mhm.
sometimes he gives away the useless fouls.
Yeah, he can't like foul Trent when he's behind Trent and like Trent is going forward. He has to just like stick to him. Don't like make needless contacts, things like that. So
Hmm
yeah, we have to limit Trent's influence through like through a winger, a hardworking winger. Like, and then I feel like Asensio shouldn't start. He should come off the bench. What do you think about that?
I mean, it depends if you're gonna play a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3 or three at the attack. But if we look at Real Madrid, obviously Benzema starting,
Hmm.
right? And then if you want Vinicius to start, I'm assuming then you want a front three if you want Vinicius starting, correct?
Hmm. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
well, I mean, you look at the players that can play there. I mean, you want Rodrigo starting? Do you want?
No, but like I think like okay, what about like a diamond or a 3-5-2? Then like you wouldn't need a front three then. I don't think we
So
necessarily
then,
need to go with the front
so
three.
then you want Vinicius to be part of the five with Benzema having like Isco alongside him?
Yeah, maybe. Or okay, like what about like even this? Okay, they're saying first of all Valverde might be fit, and if Valverde's fit, he has to start. Like in my opinion, so I feel like we can either go with a 3-5-2, or we can go with a diamond. Like so yeah, like let's say like Valverde isn't there even. Okay, if we go with a diamond, I think definitely from what I saw in the Arsenal game, dude, like Liverpool's press just overwhelmed Arsenal's midfield. And so like I think we need to play at least 3 midfielders. Definitely we need to play at least 3 midfielders because especially during build-up plays, dude, I don't want to see like Casemiro giving away the ball cheaply. Like we've seen that so many times, like in La Liga games and Champions League last season against City for that goal or not the goal, but
Well,
the action that led to Ramos's red card, where like Casemiro gave away the ball in midfield to Jesus.
yeah.
Like
Well, what
stuff
did
like
you
that.
think of against Eibar today? Because the thing that caught my eye, the most interesting thing, was Modric playing
Mhm.
deeper.
That's good.
What did you
Do you
think of
remember
that?
that? Yeah, do you remember that game against Bayern, the first leg we played away in 2017? Modric was the guy dropping between the center backs to help and build up. Like so we need Cruz and we need CMK, especially without Ramos, dude. We need to defend as a team. So first of all, that and just like the amount of like work rate that these three are gonna have to do in this game has to be insane because Liverpool's press, from what I saw today, was on point. Like and their midfield is really really good. Like okay, so like in what Klopp wants to do, which is just like create pressure and create turnovers. Like Liverpool are really dangerous. Okay, they're only dangerous on the ball when crosses are coming into Jota. That's what we really have to worry about. Otherwise, they're most dangerous when they're like when they don't have the ball and they're just closing the spaces and pressing you and trying to create turnovers, dude. And I'm telling you, like these guys are all just gonna convert. Many of them will converge on Varane when we're building up, and sometimes Casemiro as well. That's what I'm worried about, to be honest. So like for me, during build-ups, Casemiro has to go higher, and Cruz or Modric have to like drop deeper and help build. Because those guys will beat the press. I'm confident about that. Those guys will beat the press. Unlike Casemiro. And see for Varane, like I think Zidane like has to like be a little bit like he has to give up certain things, dude, because this team is limited in what it can do. We have some very good players, but we have some weaknesses, dude. So when Varane gets the ball, like see last season, one of the worst things I think we did was we spent too much time like our defenders just passing the ball amongst themselves at the back, and that just invited more and more pressure from Man City. Especially in the opening minutes, like like Varane would pass the ball to Militao, pass the ball to Carvajal, pass the ball to Courtois, and it would just keep going in circles like over there, not really moving out. And of course, City like they observed that, they converged, they pressed Varane, and he made a mistake. So when Varane gets the ball, for me like it's a Liverpool, so you have to go for the clearance. Don't go for the long. Like because the thing is that the press is twofold, right? Okay, so when you press high, yeah, you can get turnovers, but the thing is like it also leaves space at the back. So if you go long, there's a chance that we might catch Liverpool out there. So like Varane has to go long, and Casemiro has to go higher like during build up, so like he doesn't turn over the ball, dude, because he's not great on the ball. See, we were having a conversation a long time ago on the HHN got about Fabinho and Casemiro. I think Fabinho is probably the more press resistant number 6 and better in that area compared to Casemiro. Casemiro is probably better defensively because of like the different tools he has in his toolkit, like tackles, aerial, everything, like physicality, like strength. He's like a really good defensive like number 6, but he's not great like on the ball. You know what I mean? So I don't want him
I
anywhere
mean,
near that build up, to
well,
be honest.
what about then
Because
instead of playing Modric deep, you
Mhm.
play Valverde in that position, you play Modric in his normal position. What would you think of that?
Yeah, like I think one of Cruz or Modric deep, dude. One of those two has to be deep. Maybe Cruz.
I don't know
I'll play
about
deep.
Cruz, to be honest.
Mhm.
Cruz doesn't have the pace to really catch up to certain people if the attack's going quick. Not to mention, I don't know, Cruz defensively isn't as good as Valverde or Casemiro or
No, they'll
Modric.
have to like build up. They'll have to like, or they'll have to like interchange positions a lot, which is one thing I like from Zidane. The freedom that he gives, like especially our midfield, like they interchange a lot and they move around a lot on the pitch. So it depends on what phase you're talking about. Obviously when we
Yeah.
don't have the ball and we're defending, of course Casemiro has to be there. When we're
Yeah,
defending, Casemiro
Casemiro,
has to
but
be there.
I mean, I'd
Yeah.
assume like Modric played deep against Eibar. I don't think that was a
Mhm.
coincidence. I think Zidane's either gonna use him again against Liverpool to do the same, or he's gonna put Valverde in Modric's place to do the same.
So like you think it'll be kind of like a double pivot at times of like Modric and Casemiro.
No doubt, because I feel like he might
Okay.
put Casemiro on someone, like on Jota, for example,
Yeah, put him on Jota, dude. Even I
and
think like, or
then I
whenever
have
Jota comes
Modric
on, you
play
put
more
him on
defensive.
Jota, dude. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
mean
yeah. We have to do that.
Modric's pretty good at not even just playing defensive, just playing deeper, which is a difference with when
Hmm.
it comes to a player of his quality. So
You
I don't
have to like,
see.
you have to use a double pivot, dude. In my opinion, you have to go with that. You have to go because
Yeah.
a double pivot will help us a lot
So
in
you're
build
saying
up.
kind of like a 4-2-2-2 diamond,
Yeah, kind of like that, dude. Like kind of a not a
and
diamond, but
then
a square, if you want to call it that, dude. Like, yeah.
I mean I don't know my shapes to be honest, but anyways,
Yeah.
if you put if you play a back four, if you play a back
Mhm.
four. If you
Mhm.
play Nacho, Varane, Mendy, Vasquez, and then you play in front of them Casemiro, Modric. You can play what Vinicius on left side. Is that what you want? Left midfield.
Yeah, LM or like left wing, yeah, whichever
And
you prefer.
then
Cause
what? I mean, Valverde right wing or right midfield.
yeah, RM, yeah, that would be
All
good because
right,
like you
and
need to
then
put him on
and then
Robertson.
Benzema Isco up front.
Yeah, something like that, dude. Something
I
like
mean,
give me
yeah,
something like
honestly,
that. Yeah.
that would be a pretty good line. I'd be happy to see a lineup like that one deployed
Yeah.
tomorrow or Tuesday.
Mhm. That would be good for me. I think we can do something with that, dude. Because like it's not gonna be that even if it's Vasquez right back, dude. Like the way Mane is playing right now is not gonna be that easy for him to like just get past Vasquez like that,
Mhm.
dude. It's not
Plus,
that
he has
easy.
support from Valverde playing right
Yeah,
midfield.
it's not that easy, dude. Like especially if we double up over there, it's not that easy for him to like just
Yeah, and
get past those guys. Yeah.
yeah, and sometimes Vasquez likes to make those deep runs forward, so you can have Valverde dropping back
hmm
in those positions.
How do you
Hmm.
think like Zidane used Cruz when Cruz came on like for Modric in the second half?
It wasn't really that effective now, was it? I mean, you realize as soon as Modric was taken off,
hmm
the game. I mean, we were already 2-0 up, so it wasn't really
Yeah.
much of a point.
hmm
But as soon as we
Yeah.
took Modric off, Eibar had possession. We didn't really have anything going forward. The attack
Mm.
felt disconnected. So honestly, I don't feel like Cruz should start this game.
Okay.
And I say that no discredit to him because he's been superb. But with the lineup that we have, I think he would be better off the bench, in certain
hmm
circumstances. Like maybe take Valverde off later on, put him on. Or if he wants to shift him more centrally, take Vinicius off. Or if they want to leave Benzema as a sole striker, take Isco off and put Cruz deeper, depending on what
Yeah,
they want to do.
exactly. Like I think we can do that. To be honest, we can do that. We can like forget Isco, put Cruz over there instead. That'll give us more cover
Oh, like
actually.
from the start.
Yeah, yeah. Start with like a
Uh,
Cruz. Yeah, start with Cruz, Modric, Casemiro, Valverde. It's something like that.
Wait, Cruz. Okay, I don't know about Cruz because okay, Valverde has the pace to play right midfield,
hmm
and he has the defensive commitment to play there. I don't know if Cruz does, especially from the start of the game.
Look, so it'll be something like this, right? It'll be something like a almost like a 4-2-3-1. Then, like right. So like, or kind of like a deep 4-2-3-1.
I mean, yeah,
Something
because
something
Isco
like
will be
that. Yeah.
dropping back at
Yeah,
times.
no, 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 not Isco. See, for example, okay, so back four, like we already know. Okay, then like your
Hmm.
double pivot kind of will be Modric, Casemiro, and then in front of them slightly will be Cruz in the middle, and then you have LM like what's his name,
Vinny.
Vinicius, yeah, and then RM, Valverde, and then striker
Hmm.
Benzema, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean that or Isco. Because I think it's gonna be Isco,
hmm
Cruz, and Cruz has been the better player, but at the same time,
hmm
Zidane might want to have that option off the bench. So
Yeah.
it's one of those two. That's the only discrepancy I can see with the lineup, either Cruz or Isco.
Mhm. Because you need that kind of like that kind of control in the midfield, dude. That was like the biggest weakness of Arsenal today. Why Liverpool was just able to boss them is because their
Yeah,
midfielders were
Cruz
just
gives you
awful.
that. You're right.
Yeah, their midfield is just awful, dude. They couldn't build up. They couldn't control the game. They didn't have any foothold because of Liverpool's press. Yeah, like go on, add some final thoughts or more thoughts if you had.
Right.
Like give a prediction, something like that.
Oh, prediction. I mean, I don't know. Predicting with your games is never the easiest approach to life, but I mean, Liverpool, they've been inconsistent this season. Madrid's been relatively inconsistent, but consistent as of late. Madrid were slight favorites before Sergio Ramos was injured. After that, I would say it's more of a 50-50 type of game. But this team, Madrid's team, has character. They've shown character. They've shown ability to win games when there's not much there. They've shown ability to create chances out of nothing at times. I'm saying 2-2 for the first leg. I might be a little cautious to give a draw, but I can't really predict too much. I feel like Madrid will control the game, but I don't think it'll be enough to win the game, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I think it will be a 2-2 draw, but we won't be able to fault Zidane for it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For me, dude, like here's the other really dangerous thing about Liverpool, dude, especially like when their fullbacks really get going and they create turnovers like in midfield, they're very high up the pitch. Like they play very fast, and that in Champions League it's a really big weapon to have is when you have a team that plays fast. Like Either just like they're fast and they're direct. They have pacey players in attack. They also move the ball very quickly and they're direct. So those three things, like they have a very fast game. They play like a Bundesliga team in many ways. Obviously that comes from Klopp. So the two ways to deal with that is either you put men behind the ball and defend, which is how Prem teams deal with it, or like what you have to do is you have to see. Here's the main objective, right? We have to control the tempo of the game. So to beat Liverpool and their fast game, you either have to play faster than them, which I think Man City did in that 2-1, that league game, like which
You mean the
determined like
4-1?
the 2-1, the 2-1, like in
Oh, 2
2019.
seasons ago.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Which, yeah, won the league. Okay, or for
I
example, PSG did that season. Where they played faster than Liverpool in transitions and things like that.
I
Or
don't know,
like,
because I
yeah,
think the 4-1, like if you look at the 4-1, City were content
mhm,
being the slower team and sitting
mhm.
back.
Yeah, exactly, right. So you can either play faster than them, or you can play slower than them and slow down the game, which can really frustrate Liverpool. By controlling the tempo, and with players like Modric and Cruz, especially, or sometimes Isco as well, we can do that. Like the way Chelsea, more relevant to this season, dude, the way Chelsea beat them and the way City beat them, they played a very balanced game and they really controlled the tempo of the game. Sometimes they put men behind the ball and were defensive and hard to break down, but they also had a foothold in the game and got forward and tried to try to control and try to like play through the midfield and score goals as well. And I think we have to do that. We have to
But
like
we
play a
don't have,
balanced
I
game.
mean,
Yeah, what's up?
yeah, but I mean, it all depends on the lineup choice. If
Hmm.
if we play the lineup that we're calling for, then it's gonna be a very, ebb and flow game. It'll be
Hmm.
patches where Liverpool are, controlling for a little bit, and then Madrid will be on the front foot for 15, 20 minutes.
Hmm.
It'll be a back and forth tug of war between the two teams, and I think
Hmm.
that's what we're gonna see. And considering Madrid are at home, and no doubt Madrid has a better midfield than
Hmm.
Liverpool. There's not really much of
Hmm.
room for conversation with that. I think Madrid's gonna control the game,
Hmm.
but they're not gonna win the game. It's gonna be like a 2-2 draw. Madrid controlling, getting the two quality goals, but it's difficult to keep Jota and
Yeah,
Salah really
Salah,
quiet.
and that's the thing.
So yeah,
You
I think a 2-2 draw, which is a good result for Liverpool being the away team, which is really gonna put the onus on Real to attack in the second leg,
know.
and we'll see how things are by then.
Yeah, honestly, dude, that's not a bad result for Madrid either, dude. Like for me, like
Uh,
Liverpool is, of course, like you said, the team to go through based on the away goals tiebreak. But given their Anfield form this season, they've been much better away than at home. Like you saw against Leipzig, like both those were played in a neutral venue. So like I
hmm
feel it's far from over at a 2-2.
Yeah,
It's
of
far from
course, and
over.
then
And of course, I wanted to bring this
injuries.
up as well. Hazard, finally, like the thing with Hazard is, dude, like I entirely putting a lot of blame on our medical staff for the injuries this season. Like I feel like they haven't done a good job. I feel like, and it's highlighted here because Hazard was due come back in May, but he started like he's now his care is completely under the supervision of the Belgium doctors, like doctors and physiotherapists. So like they're doing such a good job with him that he's already back now. So we had him back like literally like a few weeks ahead of schedule. So there's a good chance like he's back and like fitter than ever in a Madrid shirt, like at Anfield. So I feel like a draw here, I think in many ways it benefits us, dude. I would take a draw. I would take a draw, to
I
be
mean, a
honest.
0-0 draw is very different than a 2-2 draw.
Yeah, yeah. Like a nil-nil, dude, a nil-nil is amazing. That would be like an unreal result, like from a Madrid perspective. Like I think
hmm
like especially like we're usually really good in those kinds of results, dude, because like we're good away, and especially at Anfield, where this season Liverpool are more poor at home. I say we should fancy our chances of like getting the win there or getting a scoring draw and going through on away goals. I would really like fancy that, like, and I would really like to see that, to be honest, like a nil-nil. I'd take that all day, given these circumstances.
Well,
So
no,
yeah.
yeah, of course, but 2-2, you start getting into murky. I mean, 1-1 would even be good, but 2-2, I mean,
Yeah,
and the
one
thing with
one or
Hazard,
nil-nil, I'd
because
take, man. I'd take those score lines, definitely. I'd take
yeah,
them.
because I know we were talking earlier, very
Hmm.
briefly about if we want him back or not, and to be honest, I think that's something completely, that's based on what Zidane sees in the training ground. We don't really get to see how he's meshing with the team because
Hmm.
when have we even really seen the best of Hazard combined with this specific Real Madrid team? Never.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I think it's all going to come down to really what Zidane decides, and
Mhm.
I think he's not going to start the first leg. Speaking from a first leg perspective, I think Hazard's going to be on the bench if he's fit for that one, which they're saying he's going to be fit, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They're saying he's gonna be in the squad at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so bench, I think, and
Mhm,
then
yeah.
we'll go from there.
Maybe in the second half we might get a cameo from him, something like that.
Maybe. And who do we play in the second leg? Not second leg. Barcelona, El Clasico. He
El
might
Clasico.
because I can't tell if some players, because this is down to the coach. Some players you need to play them more to get them game minutes. Some players you need to rest them to avoid injury. So
That
that's gonna
game
come
was
down
like
to Zidane.
Vasquez right back, Asensio right wing. I think Valverde. Okay, it started as a Valverde Cruz Casemiro midfield with Modric coming on in the
Wait, which
second
game?
half. El Clasico.
We're talking about the upcoming El Clasico.
Oh, the upcoming one, dude.
No, no,
Here's my thing
no.
on
I'm
that.
saying if
Yeah.
Hazard, because see, here's the thing. Some players you want to give them game time before they go into a Liverpool game. Some you want to
hmm
give them rest.
hmm
So it depends on that specific player.
hmm
So we'll see what the situation Zidane decides is most fit with Hazard. If he wants to give him game time with the mesh, because he hasn't really meshed with the team much. There's no really there's not much of that chemistry, like in terms of in-game chemistry between Hazard and the rest
hmm
of the team.
That's true.
And maybe El Clasico might be that trial game. So
hmm
we'll see.
For me, like what we like. Here's the thing: we absolutely must do, dude. We have to give a lot physically, which I like to hear from Zidane. He said like we have to give a lot physically in this game, or at least he said Liverpool will demand a lot from us physically. We have to play with the intensity. See, last season for me, I feel like we definitely we had those two games back to back. The first leg against Man City, which pretty much ended the tie. I think the damage was done in the first leg, and then
Yeah,
Barcelona in the Clasico at home like the Saturday after. So it's very similar this season to that. Both home games. But so for me to this time we have to put our best foot forward in the Champions League. Play our best 11 in the Champions League. Like it would be ideal. It was definitely ideal to play Cruz against Man City. Like if you want to put out your best 11 and try to win, which we didn't do. We didn't like we took out Vinicius in the second half. Which and after that Man City grew into the game more because like we talked about, Vinicius was the guy pinning Kyle Walker. So then Kyle Walker had more free reign, especially in the second leg when Vinicius didn't play at all. So that highlighted the tactical importance of Vinicius, dude. So we need to play Vinicius the whole time, and we need to play our best 11. I want to see our best 11 against Liverpool, dude. I don't want to see us prioritizing El Clasico again.
I
Because
mean,
for me, like, dude, like if this is a super difficult test for us, especially without Ramos, dude. But for me, if we get past this, man, dude, the path is there for the Champions League. It's to be
mhm.
honest, it's there
and
for us. Like, yeah.
and to be honest, for someone I like to value the league more than maybe some other people, but
hmm
we're 6 points back at the
Yeah.
moment. Like this, it's not like it's level on points against Barca in this first versus second, the second versus third at the end of the day.
hmm
And Champions League always comes first. So
hmm
I don't, and even I know Zidane said that that he's not prioritizing either thing, and that's the right thing a manager says. But
hmm
I don't know. I think Champions League will be that priority for him.
It has to be
But I mean,
for
you
me
never know
because
with Zidane, bro. He's the type of person to just win all three. To be honest,
yeah, like and just go. He
if we
might. I
lost
just.
against Eibar, this would have been a classic Zidane and win the next 3 games performance. But we
Mhm.
didn't lose against Eibar, so we don't have that setup.
Yeah, but to be honest, bro, if you remember last season, man, like it really ruined our momentum going into that crucial week, and we had to then prioritize the classic over the Man City game. I feel like because of that, we drew to Celta Vigo at home and we lost to Levante 1-0. And Man City had so much more momentum going into that game than we did. This time it's more even. I feel like Liverpool won their game and put together a good performance, and we won our game and put together a good performance.
And we're on what, 3 wins in a row now?
Yeah,
4 wins in a
yeah, we
row?
are 3 wins in a row in the league. Plus, like, if you want to count the Atalanta game, so like in
Yeah,
all
we'll count the
I'd say
Atalanta
four.
game. So
Yeah,
yeah, 4.
yeah, four then. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, if Ramos was playing, I'd be a lot more comfortable
Yeah.
in that game. But I mean, this is the most 50-50 and unpredictable matchup of the Champions League because
Easily. Yeah.
because
Easily.
there's so many different. I mean, Liverpool doesn't have as many approaches as Madrid, but there's so many approaches Madrid can take to this game
hmm And there's
that
two.
could really
It's so
dictate the match.
unpredictable, dude. Because the thing is, like, can we keep our concentrations up for 90 minutes, dude. Like, I mean, like 90 minutes, or if he comes on, then if he comes on as a super sub, then like 20 minutes straight for Jota, bro. Like, like that's gonna be so difficult, man. He's so
I mean,
difficult to man mark, bro. Like in the air, dude. We have to keep our concentrations really high. Like that's why I feel like we
if
miss
there's
Ramos
anyone
more
who
than
could do it,
anything.
Casemiro can do it. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
we have to put. That's the thing. We have to put him on Jota. We have to put him on Jota, dude. Like because he's big, he's great in the air. Like and he's a good DM, so he'll keep him man marked, dude. So we have to use him over there. We have to.
Yeah, and that's why we need a double pivot for that game with
Because then I
Martins or
think we can
Valverde,
do it.
depending
Then I
on.
think we can mark him. Yeah.
Yeah, so as a Madrid fan, I'm cautiously optimistic for the upcoming week,
Yeah, me too.
both El
Cautiously
Clasico and
optimistic as
Champions
well.
League. I mean, yeah, El Clasico is always El Clasico. It has a special flavor to it, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If we
Like,
lose, we'll say we played our B team. If we win, we'll say our B team beat Barca.
yeah, that's
Nothing to lose
exactly
out
it.
here.
It's like a nothing to lose situation, dude. Like,
Yeah,
and
I
the
hope
thing
they
is,
don't win the league though, so that's all I
yeah,
care about.
the thing with Atleti as well, in addition to just Barca, dude, they're not cup tied like us, dude. So they have 5 days of rest between each game at least, and then
Yeah, Barca only has that Copa del Rey final to worry about.
yeah, they're playing on Monday in the league, like which is
Yeah, they play
crazy.
Monday, then they play, which I mean that's better for us.
Mm-hmm.
But they play that Monday, and then they play the Copa del Rey final like 6 days after the El Clasico.
Mm-hmm. Man, dude, that's insane. Well, well, I think that's our final prediction, 2-2. So, any final thoughts? Anyone, Pablo?
No, not really. No.
Talk about the Clasico, bro. Are we winning the league? How do you feel about winning the league?
Let's see. I don't even know what the point difference is between, because I know you guys are in second now.
2, isn't it? Isn't it 2 between Barca and Atleti? Or no, 3.
Yeah, because you guys are in second
3,
right
yeah.
now.
Yeah, but you haven't played yet. That's the thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's always a chance. So, no UCL to focus on. So yeah, anything is possible. We'll see.
Man, bro, but this is one of the most stressful games, dude, for Madrid, man, in a long time. I'll say that much before we sign off. But yeah, that's all from me. So like,
Yes.
yeah, guys, like, any final thoughts?
You got anything to say, Ahmed? No.
Oh, 1 sec. Okay.
Oh.
So yeah, like, I mean, do you have a prediction, Paulo, for the Champions League games? Any 4 games? Any of the 4?
Bayern gonna win. I don't know how many. City's gonna win. Chelsea's gonna win, and Madrid is gonna win. Those are gonna.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No draws.
And are those just first leg predictions, or are those?
No, both legs.
Oh.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
nice.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm less bold. I'm sticking to my first leg prediction, which is City win, Munich win, Porto Chelsea draw, Liverpool Madrid draw.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. I'm going with that as well. Yeah,
And
I agree.
specifically, Liverpool Madrid, I'm feeling a 2-2, Porto Chelsea a 1-1 or a 0-0.
Yeah, I'm going with 0-0, honestly, on that one, dude. It's gonna be really low scoring and boring.
And if I'm not mistaken, that game is the same day as Bayern Munich PSG, right?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, so hopefully we
scheduling
get
by
2
you.
different flavors
Mhm.
of matches in that one. I'm just happy that the game I least care about is on the same day as Madrid, because I can't watch a game at the same time as Madrid.
Mhm.
I don't do that. So, yeah, happy it worked out that way.
Mhm. All right, I think that's it from us. So
Yes.
good night from the Time War podcast.
Good night, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.